Brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back over to you, Cormac.
Still seeing the normal spotty slowdowns on Bangerter Highway, both directions through West Valley City up to California Avenue, but otherwise roadways through Salt Lake County really looking pretty good so far. We've got some delays down in Saratoga Springs and Lehigh. This is eastbound on Corey B. Wright Highway approaching Pioneer Crossing and Mountain View Corridor, and then again northbound Mountain View Corridor between Corey B. Wright Highway and 2100 North. Going to catch a few brake lights, but otherwise roadways in Utah County looking really good. I-15 through Utah and Salt Lake, no problems. Andy.
So far, so good on I-80, moving through Parley's Canyon from Foothill Drive to Kimball Junction. Haven't seen any slowdowns up Foothill this morning, although a little bit busier closer to Mario Capecchi and Wakara Ways intersections, less so south of that. Traffic heading south from Ogden to Salt Lake City. 30-minute commute through Davis and Weber counties. Traffic a little bit busy for eastbounders and northbounders at the intersection of Hillfield Road and SR 193. And 5600 South in Roy seeing a couple of blocks of delay before you can get to that 1900 West intersection. Upgrade your water with Culligan with top quality systems for homes and businesses, softeners, filtration, bottle-free coolers, and bottled water delivery. Local experts, trusted solutions. Visit CulliganSLC.com.
Normal daytime high right around 41. We're going to go to 55 today, mostly sunny skies. Overnight, 33, mostly clear. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of haze. 56 for your Thursday. Friday, we're up to 57, partly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
But you'll need a coat this morning because it's still cold right now. 30 degrees downtown. Coming up in a moment. This is so bizarre and concerning, Andy. So the story is about a Department of Homeland Security report that says they're seeing a trend of domestic violence cases using chemical and biological toxins. Okay, how many cases do you have to have before they're calling it a trend?
I would think 2, honestly. If you're talking about what we're talking about, I wouldn't want to...
That's concerning.
Yeah.
For me, 2 does not make a trend, but maybe it does for them. Let's talk to the reporter. Sasha Pesnick will join us in just a moment here on KSL.
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Can we talk for a minute about IT problems? Because if you're having one this morning, we're very sorry because we know the stress of that. Whether it's your personal situation or maybe you run a business out of your home, and if you need help with anything technology related, you need it right now.
Yeah, 24/7 support. And that's what our friends at Les Olson IT can do in partnering with you and your business to provide whatever you need. Maybe you need a whole help desk, like you don't have one right now, and you're just sort of relying on your own computer expertise. That'll get you so far. But in today's world, you need somebody who can worry about all the trends, all the things, all the compliance that you have to have. So that you can worry about your business.
Right, so that you can focus on what you do well. So Les Olson IT, they can be your 24/7 help desk. So somebody here in Utah picks up the phone no matter when you're calling. They can help you strategize about, here's some things that are coming down the road. How do we prepare in advance to make sure we keep your data and your customers' data safe?
Plus, actually backing it up, keeping it on the cloud, the different options. Les Olson will work with whatever size your business, whatever your needs are. They can also help you out with physical security. Maybe your business is one that needs video monitoring or surveillance, those kinds of things. Les Olson IT can do that too.
9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas. Go to lesolson.com.
It's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes. Not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. 9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
With affordable tuition, personal support, and career services, Salt Lake Community College is empowering students to shape Utah's future.
I'm an occupational therapy practitioner.
I'm an electrical engineer.
And I'm in comms, PR, and marketing.
And I'm a Salt Lake Community College alum.
A better Utah starts with a better education. SLCC provides opportunities to students who become alumni that shape Utah's future. See how we're investing in Utah's future at slcc.edu/community.
Are you on the hunt for your next big hunt? Then head to huntexpo.com because that's where it starts. The Hunting Expo is coming to Salt Lake City February 12th to 15th. It's the biggest hunting show in the West. There's hundreds of guides, outfitters, and exhibitors from all over the world. Plus your shot at Utah's top 200 elk, deer, and other hunting permits in the Expo tag drawing. Book your next hunt, see the latest gear, and apply for Utah's biggest bucks and bulls for just $5 each. Your next hunt starts at the Hunting Expo and huntexpo.com.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First, Utah lawmakers have given the first thumbs up to a bill that would require signature gatherers to undergo government training beforehand. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, a group of protesters showed up at the Salt Lake City Council meeting asking for city officials to pass rules to keep Salt Lake City police from working with ICE.
Third, traffic and weather together.
A little more volume in the construction zone in Lake Point, but I-15 still a problem-free drive all across the Wasatch Front. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Border Lake spring-like conditions through the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Still no signs of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, who Arizona sheriff's deputies think was abducted from her home last weekend. ABC's Trevor Ault has the latest on the investigation from Tucson.
While there are security cameras at the home, investigators still haven't been able to access the footage. And one camera that was attached to the front of the house is missing. The sheriff says at this point, no DNA results have identified any suspects. According to investigators, Guthrie relies on daily medication that was left at her home. Savannah Guthrie says her family is focused on the safe return of their mother, posting on Instagram late Monday night, "Please pray and bring her home."
2 ransom notes have been received at media outlets, including our ABC affiliate in Tucson, but they have not been verified. A U.S. fighter jet shooting down an Iranian drone near an American aircraft carrier. ABC's Martha Raddatz.
This was a surprising move by Iran, given that negotiations are set to begin later this week with the U.S. and some Arab countries, and given the large U.S. show of force in the region. But U.S. Central Command says that the U.S. aircraft carrier Lincoln, which was transiting the Arabian Sea, was, quote, aggressively approached by an Iranian drone with unclear intent.
President Trump says those negotiations will happen as scheduled. Former Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell is hospitalized, his staff says, for flu-like symptoms. Today is sentencing day for a man convicted of trying to kill President Trump on a Florida golf course in 2024. Prosecutors are calling for life behind bars for Ryan Ruth. Top dog at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show last night in New York.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Penny the Pinscher beating out a Pekingese and a Chesapeake Retriever. Penny's handler says she's a great dog. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, let's go in depth now. The Department of Homeland Security is seeing a disturbing trend. More people are killing their domestic partners with chemical and biological toxins.
ABC News investigative reporter Sasha Pesnick joins us live. How much of this are they seeing that they're calling it a trend?
Yeah, well, it's a rising trend that's so alarming that the Department of Homeland Security is now warning law enforcement across the country to be on the lookout, saying domestic partners that are intent on harming or killing their spouses and intimate partners are increasingly turning to poison. This came in an intelligence note obtained by ABC News, and the trend is concerning for a number of reasons. First of all, it's a very personal way to kill someone that requires direct access to the victim, the kind of access that an intimate partner would have, and it can pose a significant challenge since some of these toxins can be relatively easy to get and harder to trace.
Now, it's interesting because we have a pretty high-profile case here in Utah, Sasha, about a woman who poisoned her husband, although she used fentanyl. But this isn't fentanyl. This is like actual toxins.
Fentanyl is indeed among the poisons and toxins that they are warning about here. Among the others they are talking about are bleach, an ingredient found in eye drops, antifreeze, other various poisons such as cyanide, thallium, and other ingredients that can be toxic to humans. And one of the difficult things here is that some of the symptoms of poisonings can closely mimic natural causes. So that really complicates trying to catch malicious intent.
I see that, the specific cases that they're pointing out, but are they saying this is happening all over the country?
Well, they cite cases across the country, indeed, including there in Utah, as you noted. They also highlight a case of a Colorado dentist that has now been convicted of first-degree murder after he gradually poisoned his wife with a mix of arsenic, cyanide, and that ingredient found in eye drops. And it's important, law enforcement says, to be on the lookout here so that police casing the joint as well as public health responders can make sure to catch this if it happens.
All right, thank you. That's ABC News investigative reporter Sasha Pesnick with us live on The In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Let's get another look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And we go back over to you, Cormac.
Starting to see delays grow a little bit on northbound SR 36 in the construction zone as you try to get on I-80 in Lake Point. Not too terribly long, just maybe a little more dense near Sunset Road. We've also got delays growing. This is eastbound on Corey B. Ride Highway as you approach Mountain View Corridor and Pioneer Crossing. Now, that's our worst of it. When you're on Pioneer Crossing, you should be in the clear all the way to I-15. And on I-15, still a problem-free drive from Spanish Fork all the way into Salt Lake City. Andy.
Traffic on the I-80 corridor between Salt Lake and Park City still looking good into the canyon. No restrictions in Big or Little Cottonwood canyons this morning. First foothill delay of the morning is between Sunnyside and Wacara Way, but none south down closer to the I-80 215 exit. All problem-free on West Davis and Legacy in north of Salt Lake City if you're coming south on I-15. Getting on in Ogden, a little bit heavy near the on-ramps on 31st Street. But once you're on the freeway, smooth sailing to Salt Lake. Got an old car? Donate it at carsforkids.org. It's easy, and they'll pick it up as soon as tomorrow. Call 877-CARS4KIDS today.
KSL 7-day forecast, quiet as ever to start. 55 today, mostly sunny skies, way above the normal tomorrow. 56, high pressure right over Utah, sunshine. Partly cloudy on Friday, 57. More mid-50s into Saturday and Sunday. Then clouds move in on Monday, 52, mostly cloudy, and a slight chance for a shower. Better chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday next week with highs in the 40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, let's see where we are downtown. We're at 30 degrees in the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. His name is Jaron Jackson Jr.
And he's brand new to the Utah Jazz.
He's going to be wearing a Jazz jersey. I am really excited. Do we have tickets to give away next week?
We do, actually. We have got tickets to... Who are the Jazz playing next week?
Oh,
that's a great question.
We've got to check that.
Well, I believe we are giving tickets away on Tuesday for the game on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay. We'll double check that. So I wonder if we'll get to see him on Tuesday. Is that too fast?
No. Once he passes the physical, he can suit up for the Jazz. The main thing, he couldn't do it yesterday.
Yeah.
And the team, the players that were with the Jazz that found out right before the game that they were being traded, they had to sit out last night's game.
Yeah.
So I would assume as soon as he passes the physical,
we'll see him.
Well, actually, all the players on both sides of the trade have to pass the physical. But yeah, we could see him as soon as their next game.
Exciting. Stay right here on KSL News Radio.
For years, I've said this. When it comes to the person you love, there are 3 dates you never, ever want to forget or overlook. 1, birthday. 2, anniversary. 3, it's Valentine's Day. And the perfect place to celebrate Valentine's Day with the one you love, it's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. First of all, of course, the best food you have ever had. But the ambiance, the wait service is absolutely incredible. And we have 2 locations. One, Hotel Park City, up in the mountains after a day of skiing. That would be perfect. And of course, also in downtown Salt Lake City at 275 South, West Temple. The steaks are divine. You're going to love the seafood dishes, poultry, whatever it is, cooked to perfection at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Be sure to make your reservations now for Valentine's Day.
Jeff Kaplan here. You need your house painted and you want it done at the right price. So I want to suggest you get a quote from the professionals at CertaPro Painters. It's not just a coat of paint, it's your home. That's why from the estimate to the cleanup, they're going to work to exceed your expectations. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. They're committed to quality at the right price. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro.com.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. The new Xbox could be released as early as next year. Advanced Micro Devices says that the Microsoft console could be completed by then, but right now, the companies are working on a console that embraces AI and machine learning.
Taco Bell continues to be a hit. Its parent company, Yum Brands, says same-store sales were up 7% in the last quarter.
People are using the buy now, pay later services to pay rent. AP says services like Flex, Livable, and Affirm split the rent payment throughout the month. Some worry it doesn't solve the issue of affordability and actually leads renters to pay more in interest or fees.
Yeah, we get creative when we're, struggling.
You
like
got to live
that.
somewhere, and you'd rather pay interest than be homeless.
Right, exactly. All right, let's get a look now at your money at this moment. The Dow futures up 126, that's 0.25%. S&P futures up 9, that's 0.1. The Nasdaq futures are headed down now. They're down 50, which is about 0.2%.
Well, we got a crash at the intersection of Main Street and 1100 South Highway 89 just before you go into Weber Canyon in Brigham City. We'll get a check of traffic coming up next.
If you're thinking about losing weight and you've considered trying those drugs, I mean, honestly, on my social media feed, like every other ad is for some kind of GLP-1 drug. So I get that it's in our face all the time. I just, before you make that call, think about, do you want to be paying that amount of money every month for the rest of your life or more? Maybe the price will go up at some point.
It becomes a lifetime
because it is a
financial
lifetime
commitment.
thing. I mean, we were reading in the Wall Street Journal just a week or so ago about how they were explaining about how these drugs were created to be lifelong drugs because they have an effect on your system, and they were created for diabetes, right?
Which is a lifelong issue.
And so if you would want to try and get your weight down and experience health without that dependency on a drug, think of Soda weight loss.
Yeah, soda's not a quick fix, but it is a proven process that teaches you how to eat for life and actually be a little bit active.
And I thought it went pretty quick. I mean, I lost, like 2 or 3 pounds a week, it seemed.
I was losing 3 to 5 a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's even more.
And I ended up with 70 pounds that I let go of in 5 months. 5 months.
Yeah.
And my skin wasn't overly stretched. It
because you're doing it the right way.
Supposed to do, exactly.
And it's going to keep you healthy. You can call Soda and speak to a nutritionist anytime. Tell that nutritionist about your specific situation. It's 866-800-SODA, SOTA.
And if you want to see results, go to sodaweightloss.com and look at the thousands of before and after pictures. That's SOTAweightloss.com. Right now, if you join, your partner joins for free, so 2 transformations for the price of 1.
Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. KSL News Time, 6:29. Traffic and weather brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. Cormac?
Starting to see the real construction delays northbound SR 36 in Lake Point. You're going to see those delays starting around Canyon Road now. And eastbound on the 201 freeway, we're seeing those normal delays through Magna approaching 7200 west. But otherwise, roadways looking pretty good so far in Salt Lake and Utah County. Shouldn't see any delays on I-15 from Spanish Fork all the way into downtown. Andy?
Well, if you're on southbound I-15, the drive from Ogden to Salt Lake is still only a 30-minute commute. There is a crash, though. Eastbound, it looks like it's affecting northbound and eastbound traffic at the intersection of Highway 89 and the SR 91, the one that right before you go into into Sardine Canyon. Those of you coming over from I-15 may just have to stay to the left to get by it. Let Zerorez make your carpet new again. Call 866-ZERO-RES or go online to zerorez.com to schedule your appointment today.
Let's get a look at the weather forecast today. Mostly sunny, 55 for a high. That's about 15 degrees warmer than normal for this date. 56 tomorrow, 57 on Friday. And we'll stay there through Sunday with mostly sunny skies. Then a cold front moves it. Well, cold. It'll drop down to the 40s again next week, and we might get some rain. So we're crossing our fingers for some rain. Maybe Monday, but a 30% chance of rain Monday and Tuesday. Right now, partly cloudy and 30 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News
with Andy Farnsworth and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time 6:30. KSL's top story this hour.
A new poll shows the vast majority of Utahns are worried about the economy, especially how expensive things are getting with inflation.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage. Adam?
Andy, the Deseret News and the Hinckley Institute of Politics asked hundreds of Utahns how concerned, if at all, they were with the economy. 85% said they were either somewhat or very concerned. When they were asked what specifically about the economy they were worried about, 3 out of 4 either said inflation or the cost of housing. Though interestingly enough, housing was not the number one thing people were most concerned about in terms of what prices are being inflated. It was number 2, behind the cost of groceries and other household goods. Cost of healthcare was the third thing Utahns were most concerned about in terms of prices being inflated. Live Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Studies show military families are also worried about the economy and the cost of living. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The partial government shutdown and threat of a full shutdown had upwards of 70% of military families anxious and planning how they would survive it. But this is a struggle all year, and not just when it's time for lawmakers to pass a bill. Nonprofit organization Blue Star Family says food is a constant worry for 28% of military families. And those who struggle to afford food are often dealing with unemployment. 23% of military spouses struggle to find work. The struggle for work is only intensified by the cost of childcare, making things more difficult and more complicated. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
A longtime Utah music store says it's closing one of its locations because of the unpredictable added costs from tariffs. Riverton music owner Kevin Rindlisbacher says they were forced to close their West Jordan location.
I'm just waiting for some common sense to enter into the picture and settle things down. And we're hoping that that will happen sooner rather than later.
He says they've seen costs soar from shipping to manufacturing, and prices can fluctuate day to day. He says they hope to keep their other 2 locations open.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Detectives in Arizona are now trying to determine if alleged ransom notes for missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie are real. ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest on Guthrie, who is the mother of Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie.
Nancy Guthrie's home has security cameras, but officials say they haven't been able to access the footage, and the camera attached to the front of the home is missing.
Mom, love you. We love you.
Nancy often appeared with her daughter on the Today Show, and the two have been open about their close bond. Nancy raising Savannah and her 2 siblings as a single mom after her husband died while Savannah was in high school.
Nancy also takes life-saving medication and is thought to have been without that since she disappeared Sunday morning.
Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is speaking out after her ex-husband Bill Gates' name appeared in the newly released Epstein files. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
For me, it's personally hard.
The couple divorced back in 2021. Now, Gates addressing the Epstein scandal with NPR's Rachel Martin.
Whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
While Bill Gates has previously said his meetings with Epstein were a, quote, huge mistake, his mention in the newly released documents are fueling fresh scrutiny over the nature of their association.
Bill Gates insists he never went to Epstein's private island and only met Epstein for dinners.
The International Olympic Committee has plenty of praise for the Utah 2034 Games organizers, but they also caution against planning too early. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis joins us live. Brianna?
Amanda, during a committee meeting last night, IOC President Christoph Dubie says he's impressed by how supportive Utah is of the Games coming back and praised Utah's upkeeping and even improving of the 2002 facilities. However, he said now is not the time to make plans.
The only thing we have to do is focus on the elevation. And this means focusing on the experience, what truly matters. It is not what is behind the curtain.
He encouraged organizers to focus on the legacy of the games, starting with the athletes. Live, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
The opening ceremony for the Milan Cortina Winter Games takes place on Friday, but some of the competitions are already underway, which includes ice hockey matches, snowboarding competitions, and figure skating. But the first medals won't be handed out until February 7th.
We're so excited. First look traffic now takes us back to you, Cormac.
It's construction northbound SR 36 in Lake Point. Looks like it's reaching the peak of its delays. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
A Utah program is helping people on the autism spectrum communicate with officers more comfortably during traffic stops. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez reports.
The Big Blue Envelope program is a partnership between police departments and the Utah Autism Council. The program offers envelopes to drivers with autism that they can then hand to officers at a traffic stop. It explains why or how the driver may act when pulled over, including if the driver goes nonverbal or is overwhelmed by sounds or lights. It also tells drivers what to do when interacting with an officer, such as staying calm and keeping their hands on the wheel. Lieutenant Will Barnes with Centerville Police says they hope to improve communication between officer and driver.
These blue envelopes are available for pickup at all police agencies in Davis County and also at the Autism Council of Utah.
BYU has opted to end its SOAR program because of new federal policies. The program was designed 25 years ago to help prospective multicultural students get support while applying to the school. That decision has prompted a student-led petition calling on the school to bring the program back. BYU has responded to the petition saying they are committed to supporting students, and university leadership is exploring ways to strengthen student success and college preparedness.
The Utah Board of Education has decided on a company to provide new safety technology mandated by the state legislature. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott reports.
Raptor Technologies was chosen as part of the sweeping House Bill 84 that saw massive strides in the safety of Utah's public schools. Raptor will be providing tech to all of Utah's public schools with software that will help plan drills, screen visitors, and perform safety checks on students and faculty. They'll also be providing wearable badges that will communicate directly with local dispatchers to provide support and location awareness through emergencies.
A spokesperson for Raptor Technologies told KSL the tech will allow Utah's schools to stay safe as well as adhere to the new legal safety standards.
Any problems this early, Andy?
No crashes on the freeways. We had one that was up in Brigham City, but it looks like that might even be cleared now. So we'll get a check of your commute coming up next.
It's not too late. If you got government health insurance again, especially here in Utah, this matters because a lot of families are paying more and getting less. Everyone focuses on the monthly premium, and yes, at My Policy Quote, I can help there. In fact, many of my Utah families are seeing 47% savings and even more on gold level plans. But the bigger issue shows up when you actually need care. The moment that university or a blue insurance card hits the counter, prices jump, and with family deductibles now climbing to $20,000, all of that bill lands right back on you. My name is Mike. At My Policy Quote, I help individuals and families and businesses move into private insurance based on health, not income, so you're not overpaying for things you'll never use. That means lower costs, access to national PPO networks, and a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. If you pay your own health insurance, you're on COBRA, uninsured, or your employer plan is just too much, even self-employed or small businesses, call me, Mike, today. 385-367-6779. Again, that's 385-367-6779. Or visit mypolicyquote.com. That's mypolicyquote.com to get started now.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you. Visit endtaxworry.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com.
6:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Cormac.
It's good news when the worst delays is due to construction. Northbound SR 36 looks like the slowdowns start around Canyon Road, and it's slow until you get to I-80. Once you're on I-80, should be good all the way into Salt Lake. If you transition to the 201 freeway, you're going to run into those normal slowdowns in Magna approaching 7200 West. And Mountain View Corridor, we're seeing some increased volumes going from Oker through to West Valley City. Normal delays, spotty slowdowns all through there, but I-15 still no issues from Spanish Fork all the way into Salt Lake. Andy.
Well, traffic on South 15 hasn't had any delays show up yet at all between Ogden and downtown. It's been pretty quiet as well on West Davis Corridor. The gates to Hill Air Force Base, no more than light backups. Probably the busiest one, Roy, maybe, coming over from 5600 South towards the freeway. Don't see any slow spots on I-80, but Foothill starting to see some heavier traffic building up and a little bit more wait time at the lights, 1700 South, 2300 East, and 1300 South. Plan the perfect President's Day weekend getaway. Ski the Beeve. Just 20 minutes from Garden City with easy access and good snow. Make your winter escape simple and close. Visit bearlake.org for more info.
I've got you down for another mild one today. Temperatures top around 55, mostly sunny skies. Overnight, 33. We bounce back to 56 tomorrow. Sunshine. High pressure allows for a couple of clouds on Friday. Partly cloudy, 57. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees downtown. Coming up in just a moment. The partial government shutdown is over, but there's still a question about funding for the Department of Homeland Security. What's the status of that? We're going to ask Stephen Portnoy when we talk to him next here on KSL News Radio.
Streaming live at kslnewsradio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. Time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com.
1.6 million couples will get married this year, but for a handful of couples, what comes next is wedded confusion because both husband and wife have the same name. Not the same last name, the same exact name. For instance, did you see the Twilight movies?
All of a sudden, it's not gravity holding you to the planet. It's her.
Taylor Lautner was the muscle-bound wolf dog thingy. A teen heartthrob a dozen years ago, he met a girl named Taylor. They got married, and now they're Mr. and Mrs. Taylor Lautner. He's Taylor Lautner, she's Taylor Lautner, and everybody else is woefully confused. Family members and friends would say, "Hey, Taylor," and they'd both look up. Since then, those close to the couple have taken to calling them Boy Tay and Girl Tay. But it's not just famous people. Chris Whitehead. The Wall Street Journal tells the story of stay-at-home mom Chris Whitehead, who hated her last name because of all the pimple jokes. "Hey, Whitehead." She yearned to get married and change that last name, but her new husband is also Chris Colby. So they're now both Chris Colby, and she is facing a lot of cheese jokes. They open each other's mail all the time. It's addressed to Chris Colby, but which one? Fortunately, this is not as big a problem in Utah, where we tend to shy away from androgynous names. Our top 20 boys' names are decidedly masculine: Olivers and Henrys and Liams, while the girls' names are feminine: Olivia, Emma, Charlotte. Meantime, couples with the same name scramble for solutions. In Denver, Taylor Nelson Cook and his wife, Taylor Nelson Cook, have found a unique solution. He calls himself Mailer because he's male, and he calls his wife Gaylor because she's a girl. Cheesy, but at least it's not Colby.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done, or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today.
KSL News Time, 6:44. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy and inflation, with the biggest concerns being the cost of groceries and housing. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the opening ceremonies for the Milan Cortina Winter Games take place on Friday, but some of the competitions are already underway.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Growing volumes on northbound Mountain View Corridor approaching 3500 south, but I-15 still pretty good from Utah County into Salt Lake. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Very mild and quiet conditions with temperatures running 10 to 15 above the normal. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Lots of tips, but not much public process yet in the search for the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, last seen in Arizona over the weekend.
The sheriff saying he believes Guthrie was abducted from her bed. Our affiliate in Tucson reports it received one of the ransom notes and sent it to law enforcement. Officials are now investigating if the notes are legitimate.
ABC's Lana Moise. President Trump reiterating his push for the GOP to, in his words, nationalize elections. The Constitution makes elections a state matter. Sentencing this morning for Ryan Ruth, the man convicted of trying to assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course in 2024. Ruth asking for 27 years. Prosecutors want life. And the new leader of the pack, courtesy of the Westminster Kennel Club.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
A pinscher named Penny. This is ABC News.
Well, let's go in depth now. The partial government shutdown is over, but the issue of DHS funding continues.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy joins us live. What's the status of that funding, Stephen?
Well, it exists through the end of next week, so there are 9 more days for members of the House and Senate to work with the White House to reach an agreement. Sounds easy, doesn't it? The two sides are far apart on whether to rein in ICE and Border Patrol, Customs and Border Protection, whether there should be new requirements, such as an end to masked agents and the use of administrative warrants not signed by judges. Those are Democrats' demands. Republicans say they want an end to sanctuary cities. They want to pass what's called the SAVE Act, which would be you have to demonstrate proof of American citizenship as you register to vote and bring in your passport or your birth certificate to prove that you're an American citizen. The Democrats are calling that akin to a poll tax. Jim Crow 2.0 is how Chuck Schumer put it yesterday, calling it an abomination. So the two sides are clearly far apart on this, and it remains to be seen how they're going to resolve it in time. If there is not an agreement to fund the Department of Homeland Security by next Friday, well, then that agency will go into a shutdown mode. It could impact FEMA, the Coast Guard, the TSA, and it could last for a while. We've seen this dynamic play out. What remains to be seen is how it'll be resolved in this political environment. You've got Democrats who are saying that the country has awoken to what ICE and CBP are doing in cities such as Minneapolis, and the country's crying out for reforms. Republicans see it very differently.
Stephen, so one thing just so people can understand the clarity, the funding isn't for ICE because that's funded. So the showdown over ICE will actually affect different agencies that keep America safe.
Glad you pointed that out. Last year in the reconciliation bill, the one big beautiful bill that was passed on party lines alone, you had Congress putting tens of billions of dollars into ICE and CBP, which they can use for many more years to come. So if there is a DHS shutdown, ICE and Customs and Border Protection would continue to operate, likely relying on that very large amount of money. And so the impact really would be felt by some of the other DHS agencies, particularly FEMA, the Coast Guard, the TSA, the Secret Service, and a number of other agencies that don't necessarily get involved directly in immigration enforcement.
Is there any indication that they might be able to reach an agreement here?
Well, the word we're hearing when we hear from the leaders is, a lot of this depends on the president agreeing with Senate Democrats on what the administration's willing to bend on when it comes to ICE and CBP operations. And I think, generally speaking, people are a bit trepidatious when it comes to making commitments one way or the other as to what the president is willing to agree to. Just in recent days, earlier this week, you had Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem saying that they're going to start using body cameras in Minneapolis. and perhaps elsewhere if they can figure out how to make it work from a budgetary standpoint. Now, I mentioned that CBP and ICE have tens of billions of dollars, so it seems like they can resolve that, but they're going to start in Minneapolis. Democrats are seeing that as a positive sign of, an opening round of negotiations. All right, you're willing to do this? What about that? And that's where things could get sticky. The real red line, it seems, for the administration and for Republicans is this idea that federal agents should not be told they can't wear masks. They take it extremely seriously. They say that the ICE agents are themselves victims of doxing, and they somehow say that it's different from, for example, local police who know that they have to identify themselves by name with a badge number so that they can be accountable to their own agencies and to the public.
All right, that'll be interesting to see which side is willing to cave on which point as they negotiate. Thank you, Stephen Portnoy, our ABC News national correspondent from Washington, on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
6:49 now. Traffic and weather brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. Cormac?
Starting to see our first delays on I-15 this morning, northbound. This is at 90th South Midvale, especially at the on-ramps. You're going to see those brake lights, but it's still spotty and slow up into the South Interchange. Not too terrible just yet. We've got normal construction delays in Lake Point, northbound SR36, starting to ease a little bit, still dense near Sunset Road, and northbound on Mountain View Corridor, still heavy and slow, approaching 3500 South. Andy.
I-80 still clear heading into Parley's Canyon. Once you get to Kimball Junction, though, be ready for some heavy traffic eastbound just before Highway 40. It seems a little early for that to be showing up today, but maybe right around the usual time. It is the usual time for Foothill to start backing up northbound around 1700 South. Haven't seen much slowing yet for those of you coming out of Davis County and want to go up towards the Capitol building. Victory Road still clear right now. South 15, no delays on the main flow, but it's a little slow approaching it in Roy, Clearfield, and in parts of Kaysville. Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, preparing to serve, or starting a life together. Every age, every milestone for nearly 60 years, Mr. Mac, helping you look the best for all of life's events.
KSL 7-day forecast has a string of mid and upper 50s all the way through the weekend. 55 today, mostly sunny. Tomorrow, 56, sunshine. Partly cloudy, 57 on Friday. Saturday, 56, mostly sunny. We are at 57 degrees on Super Bowl Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. Changes start moving in on Monday, mostly cloudy, 30% chance for showers, 52 the high. We're down to 46 with more rain chances as we head into Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 30 degrees downtown, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We've got BYU basketball tonight, Andy.
Yeah, BYU versus Oklahoma State. This should hopefully be one that helps the Cougs snap that two-game losing streak, especially with a big game against Houston on Saturday coming up. So we want to get things back on the right foot. Last year, 2 meetings with Houston did not go well. Not at all. But Oklahoma State, different. It is hard to play in their arena. They're a pretty good home team. So this is going to be a fun one. Another good test for BYU. But remember, what matters is getting ready for February and March.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I guess we're in February. So getting ready for end of the season in March.
So tonight the pregame starts at 6?
Pregame at 6, game tip-off at 7 o'clock here on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
You know, Peach Windows and Doors is not just selling windows. They really transform homes to feel brighter and quieter and safer and more energy efficient. So if you're thinking about your home and thinking, it needs an upgrade. I look at my windows and they just look sort of cheap to me, and sometimes they're foggy and the frames are chipping and the whole thing just looks like it could really use a facelift. Think about Peach Windows and Doors, the trusted name in windows and doors for luxury homes and remodels and new home builds. These are not the same white vinyl windows that everybody else sells. You can go to the showroom and see and touch the products. There's no, buy today or else sort of gimmicks at Peach Windows and Doors. Here's what people say after they get new windows from Peach Windows and Doors. They wish they had done this years ago, because it changes the way everything feels inside the home. It changes the way they feel driving up to their home. improves the quality of the home, the windows and the doors. The doors are magnificent and such a variety to choose from. And you can go to the showroom and have a conversation with them. There are no pushy sales tactics. They just want to talk to you about the architecture of your home and what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you're trying to get more light in, or you'd like to keep more noise out, or keep the cold or heat out and be more energy efficient. You should even check out their tilt and turn windows when you're there. I had never seen anything like it before I saw those, where you open the window and then you can tilt it. So you could actually clean the outside from the inside. Amazing technology. Peach Windows and Doors. You can start online and see what they've done for other homes here in the state of Utah. Really amazing at peachwindowsanddoors.com.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes in new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Uber shares are falling. It comes after the company reduced prices for rides. It boosted the number of rides by 22%, but the number of cheap rides didn't make up for the loss.
Americans will start filling out their squares and taking bets on what team will win the Super Bowl. I had a friend years ago that was like that. She bet on everything. She'd bet on who threw the next interception. I mean, it's crazy. But CNBC reports AI will be a big tool in how people bet now. It's also likely to boost the valuations of sports teams and media rights.
I was in high school and I had a teacher who taught me about the point spread, so we would pick against the spread each week. National publishing company Our Media has purchased 3 Utah magazines: Salt Lake, Utah Bride and Groom, and Utah Style and Design. They're now owned by the Michigan-based company. Salt Lake Tribune says these magazines combined reach more than 600,000 readers.
Dow futures are up 133 at this hour. S&P up 9. The NASDAQ futures down 74.
Well, we've got some slowing building on I-215 and a little bit on I-15. We'll get a check of traffic coming up next.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the #1 concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000. Or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all. It's watery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on a KSL Teacher Tribute Wall presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio. 6:59, traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back over to you, Cormac.
Got some light construction delays eastbound Pioneer Crossing as you approach I-15. Once you're in on I-15 through Utah County, you shouldn't see any issues, but we're starting to see the slowing in Salt Lake. First at 106 South. This is light there, and also as you approach the I-80 201 interchange, you might see a couple of brake lights there. Eastbound on the 201 freeway, going to see those normal slowdowns through Magna, and northbound Bangerter Highway, especially slow approaching 4100 South, but you're going to see spotty slowdowns all the way up to the 201 freeway. Andy.
Southbound 15 is still clear through Davis and Weber County, but I-215 seeing a little bit of southbound delay just before you get to the turn, just before the turn to I-80 where the traffic shifts for that southbound construction on the West Belt. Traffic on Foothill is still a little bit slow, around 1700 South. But if you're taking I-80 from Salt Lake to Kimball Junction in Park City, there's no slowing on the freeway to add to your drive time. Step aboard history. Walk through recreations, see real artifacts, and feel the legacy of Titanic the Exhibition. Open now at the shops at Southtown in Sandy. Tickets at thetitanicexhibition.com.
Let's get a look at that weather forecast today. We'll get back up to 55. That's about 15 degrees warmer than normal. 56 tomorrow, 57 on the weekend. Some rain to start off next week. Right now, it's 30 degrees downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. I'm Andy Farnsworth.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
Eye on the Hill 2026. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
A Utah lawmaker wants to require people who gather signatures for ballot initiatives in our elections to undergo training before they can start.
The bill cleared its first legislative hurdle just days after some Utahns said they felt they were being misled by signature gatherers. KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2026. Adam?
Amanda, a committee of lawmakers just gave a unanimous thumbs up to a bill that, if signed into law, would require people who gather signatures to take a government training course about what they can and cannot do on the job. Bill sponsor Representative Paul Cutler says there is a training course that already exists.
It makes it clear that you have to take the training class, as opposed to right now it's kind of voluntary.
The Cutler also made note of the news reports that came out last week, including KSL's, where we spoke to several people who said they felt like they were being misled by some signature gatherers going around the state. Cutler says he thinks requiring that training will help address that issue. The bill still needs to clear the full House and Senate to reach the governor. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A bill that would raise property taxes for landlords is raising concerns from both landlords and their renters. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis continues our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2026. Brianna?
Andy, a bill sponsored by Senator Dan McKay would remove tax exemptions for landlords who own multiple rental properties.
My question for my colleagues is, should we continue this policy where the exemption applies to rentals and we're getting more and more rentals?
He says the exemption would be incentivizing further building or rental properties instead of homes. However, rentals and landlords tell KSL removing the exception would raise rental costs in the state at a time when everyone is struggling with housing affordability. Some pointing out property owners may even shift to short-term rentals. Live on Capitol Hill, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. President Trump is doubling down on his call for the federal government to take a bigger role in elections. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
Early yesterday, allies of the president claimed he was referring to the SAVE Act, a proposal that would require Americans to provide proof of citizenship when registering to vote. But later in the day, Trump making his view clear.
The state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government.
The president says more federal oversight is necessary because he believes some states are crooked, and he worries about non-citizens voting.
Local election officials are reacting to President Trump's recent comments about nationalizing future elections, saying this goes contrary to the U.S. Constitution. KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman reports.
More specifically, this would challenge Article 1, Section 4, which discusses time, place, and manner of elections being determined by the states. Salt Lake County Clerk Lanny Chapman says that power belonging to the state is something that's been around since the inception of the country for a reason.
I will always say the way we do elections here in the state of Utah, it is the gold standard.
But what works best for us is not necessarily going to work well for other territories and states.
There aren't any moves or bills to nationalize elections on the table right now, but Chapman says if something like that were to happen, she would feel concerned for the rights of the state and of Utah citizens. Reagan Edelman, KSL News Radio.
Officials in Georgia are filing a lawsuit pushing back after the FBI raided an election hub in Fulton County. County Commissioner Marvin Arrington says they want all the ballots that were seized returned.
We've had 17 elections since the presidential election in 2020. If they believe that Fulton County is a hotbed of fraud, why are they only looking at the 2020 election?
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is also being questioned about why she was at the FBI raid.
ICE agents in Minneapolis will now be required to wear body cams. ABC's Matt Rivers has more.
The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, she posted on X basically saying that effective immediately, all federal officers here in Minneapolis will be using and instructed to use body-worn cameras. But, she goes on to say that then as funding becomes available, it will be expanded nationwide.
The two brothers of a woman killed by ICE agents earlier last month testified on Capitol Hill, saying Renee Good's death was violent and unnecessary.
A group of protesters showed up at the Salt Lake City Council meeting asking for city officials to take action.
I'm here to ask you to create ordinances to preemptively combat the lawlessness we are seeing in other cities. Specifically, I'm asking you to create a separation ordinance for the police.
Marina Price and others said they would keep showing up until the city acts to keep ICE out.
Time for KSL weather with Matt Johnson, who's tracking what might end up being a storm.
Monday, clouds increase, 30% chance for showers. And then into Tuesday next week and even Wednesday, we have a chance for some wet weather. There is a chance that what we're seeing next week is a potential opening of the storm door. A more active pattern could be awaiting us as we head through mid and late February. We'll have to hold and wait.
It's still so weird that we're already to February with no real snow.
know.
Matt says for now, we'll see highs in the mid and upper 50s through Sunday.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report, and here's Cormac Bone.
I-15 pretty much good all across the Wasatch Front. The only spot you'll see a little bit of slowdown is 3300 south northbound as you approach South Salt Lake. Otherwise, roadways still pretty good. You got some construction delays eastbound Pioneer Crossing and in Lake Point. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
This morning, a motorcyclist is in the hospital in critical condition after being involved in a crash at the intersection of 6400 South and Highland Drive. Police tell us the driver of the other vehicle is cooperating with the investigation, but so far, police are not sure how last evening's crash happened and who's at fault. Police say there were no signs of impairment by either driver.
A West Point man will not face murder charges after police say he shot and killed someone who threatened him after a road rage altercation. Justin Doman was reportedly followed and rear-ended by Justin Sacato. When Doman pulled into a parking lot to address the damage, Sacato acted like he had a gun, so Doman shot him. Doman is still facing other related charges.
A woman is suffering from head trauma after a rock fell and hit her at Bridal Veil Falls. The Utah County Sheriff's Office says they were able to get search and rescue teams to her for help. She was the only one injured by the falling rock.
A new master plan for Salt Lake City's northwest side will focus on making the area more desirable to live, work, and play in. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi.
People on the west side of the city say their area has been underserved and they welcome the new Northwest Community Plan. The goal is to bring in more businesses and allow mixed-use housing. Daniel Strong with the Westside Coalition credits city planning for engaging the community in the planning process and says there should be a focus on housing for all levels of income, which means getting away from studio and one-bedroom apartments, which don't appeal to families.
We want there to be, the same amenities you see throughout the rest of the city for those people who live here, and also for hopefully more new neighbors who want to move here.
This is for neighborhoods like Rose Park, Jordan Meadows, and Fair Park. The draft plan was tabled to allow more time for input. It's also not clear when it should go before the City Council. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
President Trump says negotiations with Iran will continue, even after the U.S. shot down an Iranian drone that was flying toward the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea.
These negotiations are scheduled later this week. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, with an Iranian representative in Turkey to try diplomacy. But a couple of hours after the U.S. shot this drone down, there were some Iranian boats, harassing a U.S. flagged tanker, and a destroyer had to move in. So the tensions remain high. There's all sorts of these mixed messages.
ABC's Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz reporting.
The CEO of Netflix was grilled on Capitol Hill over concerns a proposed mega merger involving Warner Brothers Discovery will impact movie prices. ABC's Sophie Flay.
The CEO of Netflix defending his company's nearly $83 billion agreement to buy Warner Brothers. Some lawmakers question whether the deal, which still needs regulatory approval, will make TV and movies more expensive. But Netflix is promising to keep the so-called 45-day window, the period when a movie plays exclusively in theaters.
I have been asked to give a blood oath about the 45-day window. I think giving my testimony to you under oath is good enough.
Netflix faces competition from Paramount Skydance, which is pursuing a hostile bid to buy all of Warner Brothers Discovery. But the Warner Brothers board has rejected that offer.
KSL News Time is 7:09. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. Cormac?
Oddly enough, it looks like our northbound delays through Salt Lake County on I-15 have cleared out, but we do have a crash. This is approaching the I-80-201 interchange on the northbound side, I-15. They are blocking the right shoulder. UHP isn't on scene just yet, so as those flashing lights arrive, we might see those slowdowns come back. Otherwise, it's construction. Eastbound Pioneer Crossing, you'll see those normal delays as you approach I-15. And in Lake Point, those northbound construction delays on SR-36 starting to ease, still especially slow at Sunset Road. Andy.
No I-15 slowdowns as of this morning so far from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Keeping an eye on the gates to Hill Air Force Base. It's a little bit busy at the Roy area at 1900 West and 5600 South. Not so bad, though, at the West Gate or the South Gates right now. Highway 89 getting heavy near Harrison Boulevard in Ogden and exiting westbound I-84 coming out of the canyon to go on to Highway 89. Foothill, minor slowing around 1700 South, but not much beyond that. Are you on the hunt for that next big hunt? Then head to huntexpo.com and you'll find it. Western Hunting and Conservation Expo, February 12th through the 15th at the Salt Palace Convention Center.
KSL hourly forecast, starting your morning out at 7 a.m. with temperatures right around the freezing mark, mostly clear skies. By lunch hour, light and variable winds, mild temperatures already into the mid-40s with sunshine. And by afternoon, topping out around 55 degrees with mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Let's see where we are at this hour. Right now it's 30 degrees downtown. Coming up in just a moment. Yesterday we broke in with the news about the two athletes who were chosen to carry the U.S. flag on Friday night at the opening ceremonies. Well, KSL's Sam Farnsworth got a chance to sit down with speed skater Aaron Jackson. We're going to share that interview.
Cool.
That's exciting. Coming up on KSL.
Well, turning to local sports, the Utah Jazz made a big move ahead of the trade deadline, bringing in a two-time All-Star in exchange for players and draft picks. KSL Sports' Jeremiah Jensen breaks down the details that brought Utah Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jackson is a two-time All-Star, a two-time blocks champion. He's been named All-NBA Defense 3 times and was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. At 6'10", he averages 19 points, 5 rebounds while shooting 35% from 3. And he's still young despite being in his 8th NBA season. Just 26 years old. He fits this team perfectly. Here are the details of the trade. The Jazz get Jackson Jr., Jock Landale, John Conchar, and Vince Williams Jr. The Jazz send Walter Clayton Jr., Taylor Hendricks, Kyle Anderson, and George Niang, plus 3 draft picks, the most favorable of 3 2027 first-round picks, the Lakers' first-round pick in 2027, and the Phoenix Suns pick in 2031.
We're excited to see him in a Jazz uniform.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be in the next game, but we'll see.
We have BYU men's basketball on our air tonight. The Cougars are on the road looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. They'll be facing Oklahoma State. The Cougars and Cowboys tip at 7. Our pregame starts at 6.
The Utah Utes are at home tonight. They host the Arizona State Sun Devils, while Utah State is on the road at the Pit in New Mexico.
The Western Athletic Conference has filed a lawsuit against UVU over exit fees from the conference. The Wolverines are leaving the WAC to join the Big West this summer, and the WAC says the school owes them $1 million in fees. The WAC also is prohibiting UVU from playing in conference championship events, NCAA championship events, because they say the school is not in good standing. This will likely have to be worked out in the courts.
It's always going to end up in the courts now, isn't it? Well, trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, the Hogle Zoo is celebrating the birth of a new baby giraffe. The 139-pound baby was born last week and is already 5'8" tall.
I saw the pictures. It was so
cute to watch him stumble around. Well, he and his mom are still bonding, so you can't see him quite yet. But later this year, the public should be able to see How?
How? Well, a Doberman Pinscher named Penny won Best in Show at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
The award is considered the most prestigious prize in the U.S. dog show world. Each dog is judged according to how closely it matches the ideal for its breed. The winner gets a trophy, ribbons, lots of treats, lots of bragging rights. And I had to look it up because I thought, well, I can't remember a Doberman ever winning the dog show. So the last time a Doberman won at Westminster was 1989.
Oh. So it's been a while for the Dobermans.
Yeah.
Well, I had next door neighbors who did show dogs, but they did Alaskan Malamutes.
Yeah.
And so I watched them train, and they were champions. They were always traveling. So, but I never,
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, the Super Bowl featuring the Seattle Seahawks. People love the commercials, sometimes more than the game. And you get a peek at some of the ads on YouTube.
Longtime advertiser Budweiser has a series of commercials featuring Peyton Manning and Post Malone at a wedding.
What's that? First beer of the wedding. Is there enough for everyone?
Kurt Russell stars in an ad for Michelob Ultra as a mysterious ski coach.
Tired always buying the Ultras, Gregory. Meet me at the Blue Lift.
Many of these celebrities will bring humor to the commercials, like William Shatner for Raisin Bran.
Will Shad here, bringing fiber to the masses with Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
And some musical entries with Ben Stiller and Benson Boone bringing back Eurodisco for Instacart.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas. Get them just how you like.
Another musical ad features Andy Samberg with a Neil Diamond tribute for Hellman.
Sweet sandwich time.
Some clips available online now are just teasers for the actual ads on Sunday, like Lady Gaga for Rocket.
Mr. Rogers was so clearly someone that stood for something.
Adrian Brody for TurboTax.
I can handle that for you. I can handle that. I can handle that.
And Ben Affleck and Friends with another series of ads for Dunkin'.
Hear me out. What's hot now? Cringe. I have monster cringe.
No one can see this.
That's Kevin Carr reporting.
KSL News Time, 7:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
one state election official is reacting to President Trump's recent comments about nationalizing future elections, saying it would oppose the Constitution. I'm KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman.
Second, a Utah lawmaker wants to require people who gather signatures for ballot initiatives in our elections to undergo training before they can start.
Third, traffic and weather together.
The crash on northbound I-15 approaching the I-80-201 interchange has cleared off the road, but the delays are back. Still a little light just there. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Florida-like spring-like conditions through the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The ongoing search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie continues in and around Tucson. Police say they have received word of 2 ransom notes sent to media outlets, including our ABC affiliate in Tucson, but they have not been verified. ABC's Trevor Ault is there with more.
We don't know where she is.
Tucson law enforcement say the 84-year-old was abducted from her home in the middle of the night. Now we're hearing police dispatch audio after Guthrie was reported missing.
Do we have a description yet of the subject? 84-year-old female, unknown clothes, not super mobile, possibly walking with a cane.
With authorities at the time already concerned about her health.
A security camera at the front of her home was taken down, and police have not yet been able to access other security footage. Today is sentencing day for the man that prosecutors say wanted to assassinate President Trump on his golf course in Florida back in 2024. They're asking for life in prison for Ryan Ruth. 8 more federal prosecutors in Minneapolis quitting over ICE raids and the fatal shootings there.
In Minneapolis, an exodus at the U.S. Attorney's Office amid growing frustrations over the handling of the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Multiple officials telling ABC News 8 more federal prosecutors are set to resign after 6 other prosecutors left last month.
ABC's Matt Rivers in Minneapolis. After a solid December on the employment front, the nation's job generator lost a lot of steam in January. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Employment analysts were anticipating 45,000 new private industry positions to open up in January, and indeed the healthcare sector saw solid job growth. But payroll processor ADP says gains in healthcare were more than washed away by losses in manufacturing. The net result, 22,000 new jobs were generated last month.
You're listening to ABC News.
Well, some breaking news right now. Border Czar Tom Homan just announced the Department of Homeland Security will remove 700 federal agents from Minneapolis.
We are not asking any state or local official to do immigration enforcement activity. They are not. By merely notifying us before they release them, they don't hold them 1 minute past they normally would. Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel.
He added that they are prioritizing body cams and will require the remaining agents to wear them.
Yesterday, we broke in with the news about the two athletes chosen to carry the U.S. flag at the opening ceremonies of the 2026 Winter Games.
This morning, KSL's Sam Farnsworth got a chance to speak with speed skater Erin Jackson, who lives and trains here in Utah.
She's already an Olympic legend, Erin Jackson becoming the first black woman to win individual gold at the Winter Olympics 4 years ago in Beijing.
Glory for Erin Jackson, coming through in the clutch.
So it's fitting that she's leading Team USA into the legendary San Siro Stadium on Friday at the opening ceremonies.
It's pretty overwhelming, I guess, to think about it. And yeah, it's just a really big honor. I can't even find the words for it. But yeah, I'm really proud to be able to carry the flag.
Jackson, voted on by her fellow United States Olympians to be one of the two flag bearers, along with bobsledder Frank Del Duca, becomes the second straight speed skater and Utahn to carry the flag. Brittany Bowe held that honor in Beijing.
I feel like I've already learned so much from Brittany. I've known her for, over 20 years at this point, since I was 10 years old, and I've looked up to her ever since then. And it's just, amazing to kind of continue that legacy. And to be able to experience it last games with Brittany carrying the flag, and now this time with me carrying the flag, it's been really awesome.
Yeah, now the opening ceremonies, they will be actually televised live here on KSL 5 on Friday, starting at about noon, and then an encore presentation, some condensed coverage of it coming up later that evening. So we'll look forward to seeing Erin bring in that flag over there at San Siro Stadium.
Yeah, we're going to get live reports from our KSL team in Milan Cortina throughout the Olympics here on KSL News Radio.
Let's get another look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at UCCU.com. Cormac?
A touch of northbound I-15 slowing at 3300 south, but otherwise I-15 looks really good through Utah and Salt Lake counties. You still have those normal construction delays in Lake Point, northbound SR36, and in Lehigh, eastbound Pioneer Crossing, approaching I-15. Otherwise, you got some heavier delays eastbound on the 201 freeway in Magna, approaching 7200 west. Andy?
South 15 traffic is still moving smooth through Davis and Weber County for now. I-84 still delay-free into Weber Canyon, and I-80 clear into Parley's Canyon. We've got some slowing at 17th South and Foothill, and a listener saying a fire engine blocking a westbound lane on 100 South up at the U of U. It's Toom Brothers Mattress. Don't miss the Serta mattress sale going on now. Get a queen Serta mattress for $379. That's a Serta for $379. Visit twobrothersmattress.com.
KSL 7-day forecast, quiet as ever to start. 55 today, mostly sunny skies, way above the normal tomorrow. 56, high pressure right over Utah, sunshine. Partly cloudy on Friday, 57. More mid-50s into Saturday and Sunday. Then clouds move in on Monday, 52, mostly cloudy, and a slight chance for a shower. Better chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday next week with highs in the 40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, here comes the sun. And it's 30 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. The Salt Lake City Mission has been serving our community since 1938, providing hope and practical support to people experiencing homelessness, poverty, and addiction through emergency services and long-term recovery programs. Pastor Sean Clay joins us with more.
At the Salt Lake City Mission, our goal is simple. We want to share hope, restore dignity, and transform lives. For more than 35 years, we have done this by offering meals, shelter, clothing, recovery programs, counseling, job training, and life skills support, helping people take steps towards stability and self-sufficiency. Every service is delivered with care, focusing on long-term change, not short-term fixes. We have served more than 7.2 million meals, supported thousands of families each month, and helped countless others in need in many ways. The Salt Lake City Mission stays relevant by adapting programs to the changing needs of our community and working closely with volunteers and local partners who share our heart for service. You can donate, volunteer, host a food or clothing drive, or give in-kind items. Every gift makes a real difference, opening doors to a brighter future. Let's work together to care for those in need.
The Salt Lake City Mission serves thousands of Utah families by providing millions of meals and offering programs that restore hope and dignity. Get involved by donating, volunteering, or supporting their work at saltlakeCityMission.org. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Take the first step. Visit CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Walmart is the first retailer to reach $1 trillion in market value. Reuters reports the news had that news had shares spiking 26%. The stock has gone up 468% over the past decade.
Amazon's physical stores are doing extremely well. Revenue has gone up 5.4% in the last year, increasing to $5.9 billion. Amazon owns Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, and Amazon Go.
Advertisements that run during the Super Bowl are memorable but expensive. CNBC reports that streaming is making them more affordable. Ads for streaming simulcasts now make up 10% of the full TV ad inventory, and it costs the companies half the price.
The one I'm looking forward to is Lady Gaga singing Mr. Rogers. She sings the
I heard that in the clip.
In your neighborhood.
What's the company?
I don't know.
Now, that's an interesting thing, too.
Yeah, because sometimes we remember the...
Oh, for Rocket.
Rocket, that's right.
That's not the mortgage, right? Maybe it is the mortgage, because it would seem to be if you're singing about the neighborhood.
Isn't that crazy that we remember sometimes it backfires? They spend all that money and we don't remember
who
it's attached to.
Then we don't remember the product, yeah.
All right, let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow futures are up 70. S&P futures up 4, just a fraction. The NASDAQ futures down 103, which is 0.4%.
Well, Pioneer Crossing's doing better today than yesterday, but there is still quite a bit of delay trying to get to I-15. We'll get an update on your commute coming up next.
Can we talk about money for a second? I know money is tight for everybody, and we're trying to juggle, as best we can. You get prices at the grocery store and everything else. So when we have something that can help you with your money, we want to share it, and that is UCCU and their Supercharge Your Savings Plan.
Yeah, more is always better than less. That seems very obvious, but what UCCU can do right now is their high-rate savings certificates. If you've got money sitting in a regular savings account right now and you know you're not going to touch it or need it, put it into a high-rate savings certificate and get your money earning you more money.
Right. Because so if you've got, my son had saved some money in a savings account. And I told him about this so that he could switch it over because I thought, honey, I've seen you haven't touched that money for like a year and a half. You won't need to touch that money for a while. Let this money earn you some interest in a savings certificate at UCCU.
Yeah, you make one deposit up front, and so the more you deposit, the more you earn. It makes your savings work harder. You earn more money.
Yeah.
It's simple.
And this is really one of many, many things that I love about banking at UCCU. They're always coming up with new ideas and new technology and new ways to save my family money and help my family save.
If you're not sure what to do, you can stop by a branch and a friendly financial expert will help you. Or if you know what you're doing, go straight to UCCU.com, select high yield savings option, and start supercharging your savings.
Utah Community Credit Union. You're going to love where you bank.
Jeff Kaplan. When I was a kid, my parents got me a subscription to Newsweek magazine. I would devour every page into the night. And to this day, I sit on my iPad looking for stories for my minute of news, flesh out our coverage, and I get to share the news with you.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
729, traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back over to you, Cormac.
Scattered northbound I-15 slowdowns from the south interchange up to the I-80 201 interchange. Not too terrible just yet. Where we do have some increasing volumes is in the construction zone eastbound on Pioneer Crossing. Those delays start all the way back at 1100 west and reach up to I-15. And also eastbound in Lehigh on 2100 north, you're going to see those delays from 3600 west also to I-15. Andy.
Southbound 15, first delay of the morning right now, right before the 500 west turnoff in Bountiful, leaving Centerville. No backups, though, on West Davis Corridor yet, or Highway 89 between I-84 and I-15 along the East Bench. But Foothill along Salt Lake City's East Bench, that's slow from the 215 exit now all the way up past 1700 South. I-80 got a little bit of a westbound delay right over the Summit right now. Not a delay, but a westbound slowdown just a tiny bit. Let Zero Res make your carpet new again. Call 866-ZERO-RES or go online to zerores.com to schedule your appointment today.
Let's get a look at that weather forecast today, a lot like yesterday. It'll be just partly cloudy, a high of 55 degrees, which is about 15 degrees warmer than normal. 56 tomorrow, 57. So we're warming up from here up to Friday, and we'll stay around 57 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll get down into the low 50s on Monday, and then here comes another storm. The first one in a while, it feels like. It won't be snow in the valley, too warm for that, but maybe some rain in the valley and snow in the mountains, and we'll welcome that. Right now, it's partly cloudy and 30 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News
with Andy Farnsworth and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time, 7:30. KSL's top story this hour.
A new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy and how expensive day-to-day necessities are getting.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more on the numbers. Adam?
Andy, the Deseret News and Hinckley Institute of Politics asked hundreds of Utahns how concerned, if at all, they were with the economy. 85% said they were either somewhat or very concerned. And when they were asked what specifically about the economy they were worried about, 3 out of 4 said it was either inflation or the cost of housing. And a few people said they were most worried about not having enough money for retirement. Though, interestingly enough, housing was not the number one thing people were most concerned about in terms of what prices are being inflated. More than half of people said they were most concerned about the cost of groceries and other things they need for their homes. The cost of housing was the number 2 concern. The cost of health care came in right behind it. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Military families in the state are also struggling to afford the necessities. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla continues our team coverage.
Nonprofit organization Blue Star Families says more than 70% of military families spent the weekend anxious trying to plan out how they would afford basic living with the partial government shutdown. That's over now, but the reality is that these families struggle most of the time. 28% reported struggling with food insecurity, and 30% say they can't afford balanced, healthy meals. Finding a job is also a big worry. Military spouses struggle to find work. 23% deal with unemployment issues. Childcare only adds to the worry, with the price of it keeping those spouses from getting jobs. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
The owners of a local music store say increased tariffs have forced them to close one of their 3 locations.
A tariff that used to cost me $4,000 or $5,000 could now be $40,000.
Riverton music owner Kevin Rindlisbacher says he has never seen prices as high as they were over this past year. He says the tariffs have caused unpredictable pricing from manufacturing to shipping. The rising costs forced them to close their 40-year-old West Jordan location. He says he just hopes the other 2 shops can survive.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The search for Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother is intensifying. Police are now trying to determine if some ransom notes that have been found are real. ABC's Lina Moise has more.
Neighbors shaken by the news.
This probably is not it's going to be a good outcome.
Many trying to help search, even stopping other neighbors to ask them to check their security cameras. Nancy Guthrie's home has security cameras, but officials say they haven't been able to access the footage, and the camera attached to the front of the home is missing.
Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old and takes life-saving medication, which she likely has been without since Sunday.
New questions are being asked about Bill Gates' meetings with Jeffrey Epstein following the DOJ's release of more Epstein files. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is speaking out after her ex-husband Bill Gates appeared in the newly released Epstein files.
for me, it's personally hard because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage.
The couple divorced back in 2021. Now Gates addressing the Epstein scandal with NPR's Rachel Martin. While Bill Gates has previously said his meetings with Epstein were a, quote, huge mistake, his mention in the newly released documents are fueling fresh scrutiny over the nature of their association.
Bill says he never went to the Epstein Island. He only met Epstein for dinner.
The International Olympic Committee is asking Utah to hold off on planning the 2034 games for now. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis joins us live to explain. Brianna?
Amanda, IOC Executive Director Christoph Dubé praised Utah for upkeeping their facilities and says it shows how much the state loves the games, that both politicians, media, and residents all have offered positive support for their return.
We have all the conditions for these games to be outstanding. The only thing I urge Utah 2034 to do is not to start planning for this game.
He says what's important to focus on right now is experience, innovation, and legacy, but now is not the time to get into the weeds on the fine details. Live, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
The opening ceremony to the 2026 Winter Games takes place on Friday, but some of the competitions start today, which includes ice hockey matches, snowboarding competitions, and figure skating. But the first medals won't be handed out until February 7th.
First look traffic now, and here's Cormac Bone.
Northbound I-15 looking pretty good. Delays easing between the South Interchange and I-80-201 junction, but Bangerter Highway northbound still heavy and slow through West Valley. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Police departments in Davis County have implemented a program that helps people on the autism spectrum communicate with officers during traffic stops. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez has more.
It's called the Big Blue Envelope Program, and it allows drivers who have autism to give police officers an envelope during a traffic stop that explains why or how the driver may act when pulled over. The envelope explains that the driver has autism and may go nonverbal or be overwhelmed by sounds or lights. Lieutenant Will Barnes with Centerville Police says officers are trained beforehand on how to approach these situations.
There's some information that the officer can pick up right away that will give them information about the driver and what kinds of sensitivities they have.
All police agencies in Davis County and the Autism Council of Utah offer the blue envelopes for pickup. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
BYU has opted to end its SOAR program because of new federal policies. The program was designed 25 years ago to help prospective multicultural students get support while applying to the school. That decision has prompted a student-led petition calling on the school to bring the program back. BYU has responded to the petition, saying they are committed to supporting students, and university leadership is exploring ways to strengthen student success and college preparedness.
The Utah Board of Education has chosen the company that they're going to use to provide new safety tech to all of Utah's public schools. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has the story.
The Board of Education chose Texas-based Raptor Technologies to provide safety tech to schools across Utah in order to keep up with a number of new safety requirements made by House Bill 84. Among the new tech expected at Utah schools is screening software for visitors, software to plan and execute drills, and special wearable devices that will allow teachers to communicate directly with 911 dispatchers in case of an emergency. Raptor will also provide tech that will allow law enforcement and schools to coordinate during active emergencies, so student and faculty locations and safety can be regularly monitored. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Well, we've got slowdowns on Mountain View, Bangerter, some now on I-15 in South Salt Lake as well. We'll get a check of traffic coming up next.
Are you looking to upgrade your home this year? Advanced Window Products is your local window and door manufacturer that sells direct to the public.
That's right, celebrating 40 years serving Utah since 1986. And right now, it's the New Year, New Window sale. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more.
Our windows are made right here in Salt Lake City. Sales and installation are all in-house, meaning no middleman markups. You get the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state.
We build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Every window comes with a lifetime warranty, labor, glass, and parts included, serviced by our local team, and the warranty is transferable to the next homeowner.
Financing is available too. Save now, pay later, with payments as low as $150 a month.
Buy local and support the local economy. Don't wait. Buy 10 windows or more and get $2,500 off. Beat the rush and call today.
Call us at 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com.
Don't miss the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show coming to the Mountain America Expo Center February 12th through 15th. Hundreds of RVs all in one location. Buy tickets online at UtahRVShow.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
If society collapsed tomorrow, how long would your family last? If you run out of food, probably not very long. That's why over 3 million American families trust My Patriot Supply for preparedness. Right now, you can get their best-selling 3-month food kit for $100 off. It's 3 months worth of real hearty meals that give you 2,000 calories a day and last up to 25 years. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com to get your 3-month kit for $100 off. The discount won't last long, so go to MyPatriotSupply.com today. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
7:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at UCCU.com. And back to you, Cormac.
You're going to see some northbound I-15 slowdowns as you pass the South Interchange and go up through towards 4500 South, also around 3300 South. But really, that's the only I-15 slowdowns you see between the South Interchange and the I-80-201 junction. Otherwise, it's over in West Valley. You got heavy delays northbound Bangor Highway from 4700 South up to 3500 South. Parallel to that on Mountain View Corridor, especially slow approaching 3500 South northbound. Otherwise, eastbound on the 201 freeway, you see some delays in Magna, especially slow approaching 2700 South and between Mountain View Corridor and Bangor Highway. Andy.
Legacy Parkway has gotten really busy right now going south right after the West Davis Corridor merge. So the backups start prior to the West Davis merge. They end a little bit after the two come together. I-15 beginning to slow a little bit near the Parish Lane exit Centerville, and then heavy traffic from the North Interchange to 600 North. Victory Road looked good earlier. It is backed up now from the Beck Street turnoff all the way up to the Capitol, and Foothills slow from the Parley's Way split all the way to 1300 South. Elevate your dining at The Roof, now serving lunch and dinner. Enjoy city views and fan favorites like Funeral Potato Bites and the Bacon Fig Flatbread. Visit theroofslc.com.
Hey, we're looking at temperatures more typical of early to mid-March. How about a high of 55 today? Mostly sunny skies. High pressure right over the state of Utah tomorrow, putting us into the mid and upper 50s, sunshine. Partly cloudy and 57 by Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 30 degrees downtown. Just repeating our breaking news from a moment ago. We are learning now from a press conference that was held earlier this morning that 700 personnel will be withdrawn from Minnesota immediately. That's Border Patrol and ICE agents in the state of Minnesota. We had a press conference earlier with Holman, who is explaining about how he'll be removing 700 people. So that feels like a concession of sorts to those who were asking for a reduction of force in that state.
And he said that body cameras are going to be more of a focus now among agents as well, which is, what people have been kind of saying, like we need to have more video accountability for some of these things. So
to protect everyone, including the officers themselves. So we'll stay on top of that here on KSL.
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. Time for Jeff
If you've ever set New Year's resolutions before, you know how difficult it is to follow through because you have to wait.
Time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com.
We've hoped and prayed that Americans would become more tolerant. In a country where the majority of Democrats say they wouldn't marry a Republican and vice versa. All I want is a world where we can talk about and respect our differences. And apparently here in Utah, we're making progress. Proof comes from a new survey. 3,000 families responded to a survey by FamilyDestinationsGuide.com. They were asked, if you were going to up anchor and move your family, where would you most want to go? Families here in Utah chose Hawaii. Fantasizing about lapping waves, sandy beaches, and coconuts falling fresh from the tree, Utahns would choose gentle breezes, the aloha spirit, and paradise among the palms. But Utah, you know what lurks behind all of those palm trees?
Democrats.
Hawaii cast 9 votes for Bernie Sanders and 23 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Hawaii has more Democrats than ukuleles, and yet still, given the entire world to choose from, Utahns, who are among the most Republican people on earth, would raise their kids in Hawaii to live under the thumb of a Democratic governor, congressional delegation, legislature, a place that taxes out-of-staters an extra 7% when they buy property. It's an outrageous confiscation of wealth, unless you add in some palm trees. Then maybe it's okay. I think this is proof that we're becoming more tolerant. Good on you, Utah.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
If you've ever set New Year's resolutions before, you know how difficult it is to follow through because you have to wait to see the results. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and in honor of your New Year, New You resolutions, Any Hour Services is having our New Year, New System sale. From now until the end of February, Any Hour Services will give you $2,026 off a new furnace and air conditioner. And you don't have to wait to save the money. You get $2,026 off at the time of purchase. The only thing you have to do to qualify for our New Year, New System sale is call Any Hour Services and schedule a free estimate. When you call, there's no obligation to buy. Just schedule a time to meet that works best for you. Let me say that again. From now until the end of February, when you have Any Hour Services install a new furnace and air conditioner, we'll give you $2,026 off. Call Any Hour Services right now and schedule a free estimate. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
landlords and renters are speaking up against a bill that would raise property taxes for owners of multiple rental properties. I'm KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis.
Second, a new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy, and they worry about how to afford the necessities. Third, traffic and weather together.
I-15 still clean and clear through Utah County, but getting a little heavier at the South Interchange. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Very mild and quiet conditions with temperatures running 10 to 15 above the normal. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 32 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Changes are coming in the way immigration operations are handled in Minneapolis.
We'll draw down 700 people effective today.
Border Czar Tom Homan just now making that announcement days after taking control of the operation. He says the drawdown is being made possible by state and local officials agreeing to turn over arrested immigrants. This is ABC News.
Let's go in depth now. The search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie continues. Police are now investigating if alleged ransom notes are real.
KTAR reporter Heidi Hommel joined us earlier in the show.
Good morning. Yeah, these ransom notes were the latest development yesterday. So a local news station in Tucson, KOLD Tucson 13, they received a ransom note a couple days ago, decided not to report on it, delivered it to the Pima County Sheriff's Office. And the Pima County Sheriff's Office then asked them to not report on it. Yesterday, TMZ also received a ransom note. And these ransom notes are asking for an unspecified amount of Bitcoin, reportedly in the millions. They have a deadline, and they have details that only Nancy's abductor would know about the condition of the house. Also a new development from yesterday, what appears to be blood could be seen splattered outside the front door of the home. No, we have not confirmed that it's blood. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos will not say that there was blood found in the home, but they did send some DNA samples to the crime lab to be processed, and we're still waiting on the results of those tests.
Heidi, about the ransom notes, were both the notes, the one passed to the one reporter and the one to TMZ, were for the same amounts? Do the police believe those are both from the same group or individual?
We do not know. They cannot verify the credibility of these notes. We do not know that they are identical notes. We do not know that they came from the same person, but the Sheriff's Department is taking it very seriously, and they're looking into it.
Is there any camera evidence from anywhere in that neighborhood?
That's the other odd thing that we're working to confirm. So Ring doorbells, home surveillance systems, very popular these days. It appears that Nancy had one outside her front door. It's been removed. We don't know if law enforcement removed it or if her potential abductors removed it. The Pima County Sheriff's Office did tell us that they are working with the manufacturers of Nancy's home surveillance cameras to get that footage. They've also asked other homes in the neighborhood, even, these are big houses on large lots, very spread out. They said, go through your home cameras, see if you see anything, let us know if you have any information. They're still asking the public for help, for information.
Heidi, what do we expect today to hear from authorities or anything?
So there's actually not going to be an update today. I'm in Tucson right now. There's going to be a vigil tonight at the church that Nancy went to. And that's when she was reported missing. When she did not show up to church this Sunday, her friends were like, that's very unlike her, called the family. Family couldn't locate her, and they reported her missing. The next update we're going to get from law enforcement is going to be Thursday at 11. Unless something breaks in this case, they'll update us right away. But I plan to be at that Thursday update as well.
Do you happen to know, is Savannah Guthrie there in Arizona?
She is. She's here in Tucson, and I fully expect her to be at the vigil tonight. I do not have that confirmed, but it is her mother. I assume the family's going to be there. And I was talking to some of the neighbors around her house yesterday, and they're just, everyone's shook up by this. It's such bizarre, odd circumstances. The question everyone wants to answer, who would steal a little old lady? Who would abduct this woman?
Yeah, we'll continue to reach out to KTAR reporter Heidi Hommel as we follow this story about the kidnapping of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
7:49, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back to Cormac.
Northbound I-15 delays are growing around 7200 South Midvale, reaching into Murray. Also slow around the I-80-201 interchange up to 13 South. Otherwise, I-15 through Utah County, still clean and clear. Eastbound Pioneer Crossing delays in that construction zone, still pretty heavy, starting around 1100 West, approaching I-15. And on Bangerter Highway, still very heavy northbound from 4700 South, really all the way up to the 201 freeway. Andy.
Traffic on South 15 is getting a little bit worse now in between Woods Cross and Salt Lake City. We've also got stop and go on Legacy just before the West Davis merge, continuing down almost to Parrish Lane. Highway 89 busier now between South Ogden and South Weber, although there isn't any delay on I-84 into Weber Canyon. And in Parley's Canyon, I-80's only seeing slowdowns actually after you come out of the canyon and are heading from Kimball Junction to Highway 40 in Summit County.
Let's get a look at the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. How you doing, Matt Johnson?
I'm doing pretty good here. I've got a 55 for you. Double nickels today, mostly sunny skies. I got mid and upper 50s Thursday and Friday. We could be to 57 degrees on Friday with partly cloudy skies. Normal high right now is 41, so about 10 to 15 above. 56 on Saturday, mostly sunny. 57 on Sunday. That's Super Bowl Sunday. You might even be able to barbecue out there at 57. Sure. Sheesh. Mostly cloudy and a 30% chance for showers on Monday. Okay, we're getting somewhere. 46 on Tuesday, chance for rain. And next Wednesday, which would be day 8 on the forecast sheet, got a chance for rain again.
Oh, good.
So
I've always been a sucker for doing something just to say that I did it. Like watching the game outside in Utah on Super Bowl Sunday.
I bet people will be golfing.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Throwing the football around, maybe playing a little flag football.
Sounds good. Thank you, Matt. Right now, it's 32 degrees downtown.
Amanda, when something goes wrong at your house and it's something that you don't know how to fix, then you've got to trust somebody else. Mm-hmm. And when I say trust, I mean you have to trust because they're going to tell you something that you don't know the answer to. Yeah. And so somebody like Superior Water and Air, somebody that I trust to help me with things like if something goes wrong with my furnace, with my AC, with my plumbing, they've already helped take care of me with my plumbing.
Yeah. Yeah, trust is such a huge part of it. You let these people into your home, and you're not an expert in all of these things. So if they tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who said, oh, man, I wish I'd known about Superior Water and Air because I had this other company come in and they told me I had to replace it. And I wound up spending $6,000 and it turned out I didn't have to replace. See, that's never going to happen to you with Superior because no one sale is worth a relationship. They want to take care of you and your home for as long as you own your home.
And if you do have to make that big expensive one, because that does happen sometimes regardless, Superior Water and Air has financing available to help you for the situation that you're in. Right now, maybe you're waiting on a tax return, so you could say, hey, could I have 90 days, same as cash?
Great idea.
Or could I have, they'll work with what your situation is.
Their response to me, no matter whether it was a small thing or a big thing, has always been the same. We got this. And then I breathe easier knowing Superior has it.
Well, and maybe that tax return, it's time to get a home generator. This might be the time to be thinking about something like that. Superior can take care of you on that as well. Make an appointment. Give them a call. Start that relationship. 801-974-9090 or go online at superiorwaterandair.com.
When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today.
Bad driving habits are hard to break, but good driving habits are easy to form, especially when they can lead to a discount on your auto insurance. With Farm Bureau Financial Services, the safer you drive, the more you save. Drivers like you are saving an average of $321 per vehicle. So buckle up, learn more, and find an agent at fbfs.com/save. Individual savings results may vary. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably, like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow is going to be. It's going to be positive.
You deserve a better life too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Taco Bell continues to be a hit. Its parent company, Yum Brands, says same-store sales up 7% in the last quarter.
In the first half hour of trading, the Dow is up 185. We're at 49,426. S&P is down a fraction, just 2. The NASDAQ down 106. That's 0.5%.
It's time for Cougar Tracks, brought to you by Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com and learn more. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
The 16th-ranked BYU basketball team looks to end a 2-game losing streak tonight as they take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater. Could Kevin Young and his staff make a lineup change to get his team out of the current rut that they are in? It's a consideration for Coach Young.
Yeah, I think everything's on the table as far as considerations. So, we've analyzed it quite a bit. Like I said, everything's on the table. Gut feel, not going to make a lineup change. But, yes, in terms of analyzing it to that degree, yes, we've analyzed it to that degree.
BYU at Oklahoma State tips off tonight at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 6, right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper, on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Imagine opening your mailbox or checking your bank app and seeing a rent payment come in. Now imagine that rent payment helping fund your retirement. With a self-directed IRA at Central Bank, your retirement account may be able to invest beyond traditional stocks and mutual funds into alternative investments like real estate. It's a different way to think about retirement, not just how's the market doing, but how's my property performing? Because for so many investors, alternative investments can feel more tangible, something you can understand, manage, and build over time. Central Bank's self-directed IRA team can walk you through how it works, the rules, and what you need to consider so you can decide if it fits your goals. Central Bank's message is simple: turn rent checks into retirement. Learn more at cbutah.com. That's cbutah.com. Central Bank. Turn rent checks into retirement. Investments are not FDIC insured, not guaranteed, and may lose value. Central Bank deposits and certificate deposits are FDIC insured up to applicable amounts.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
7:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back over to you, Cormac.
Northbound I-15 delays are starting to stretch a little longer. They start around 90th South and reach up into Murray. We've also still got those delays around the I-80-201 junction up into 13th South. Otherwise, I-15, we're seeing a little bit of northbound slowing on northbound I-15 in Utah County now. This is in Linden. Just a little bit, so still not too terrible through Utah County. Eastbound Pioneer Crossing, still heavy and slow as you try to get onto I-15. Bangerter Highway and Mountain View Corridor, both heavy and slow northbound approaching 3500 South. Andy.
Foothill slow from the exit all the way up to 17th South, but also have a little bit of slowing on the transition from northbound 215 to go west on I-80 right before you get to 2300 East. We've also got traffic slowing down on both I-15 and 215 coming south towards the I-80 go ramps to the airport. I-15 also a little slow in Woods Cross, and southbound Legacy still backed up where it merges with West Davis Corridor. Are you tired of dealing with your missing teeth? Are you ready to ditch the dentures? The experts at Stubbs Dental can change your life with dental implants. Get started at stubbsdental.com today.
Let's get a look at the weather forecast today. Mostly sunny, 55 for a high, 56 tomorrow, 57 Friday, and through the weekend in the upper 50s before a colder front moves in the beginning of next week, bringing some rain. Right now, it's 32 downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time, 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Andy Farnsworth.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
Eye on the Hill 2026. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
A Utah lawmaker wants to require mandatory training for people who want to gather signatures for initiatives in our elections.
This comes just days after a handful of Utahns said they felt they were being misled by signature gatherers. KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage, Eye on the Hill 2026. Adam?
Amanda, a committee of lawmakers just gave unanimous support to a bill that would require signature gatherers to take a government training course about what they can and cannot do on the job. Representative Paul Cutler is sponsoring it.
If they have training classes, if they go through this, they would understand the law better, and it would make it very clear what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do.
Now, this hearing comes just about a week after we spoke with several Utahns who told us they felt that like they were being misled by some signature gatherers going around the state. Cutler says he thinks this bill will help address people's concerns. The bill still needs to clear a few more hurdles to reach the governor. Live at the Utah State Capitol, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Landlords and renters are concerned about a bill that would remove property tax exemptions from multiple property owners. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis continues our live team coverage. Eye on the Hill 2026. Brianna?
Andy, bill sponsor Senator Dan McKay says he's a landlord himself and recognizes his own costs will go up if his bill is passed, but says he's concerned the exemptions incentivize building rentals instead of affordable homes. Rental Housing Association of Utah Director Paul Smith tells KSL they have concerns.
Costs of providing rental housing are already extravagant. Increasing costs is a bad idea because it will increase rents.
Renter representative says renters are already cost burdened in their day-to-day lives, and costs going up concerns them as well. The bill has passed out of committee. Live, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. President Trump continues to call for more federal control of elections ahead of the midterms. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington.
The federal government should get involved.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government. The Trump administration has tried to make several changes ahead of this November's midterm elections, including mid-decade redistricting to gain more House seats and pressing at least 24 states to turn over their voter registration data.
President Trump is calling some states' election offices crooked.
A state election official is expressing concerns after President Trump's comments about nationalizing elections. KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman reports.
Salt Lake County Clerk Lanny Chapman says that Utah has a golden standard for elections, but just because something works well here doesn't mean it works well elsewhere, which is part of why leaving elections in state hands is so important. But it's also important, she says, because it's a right guaranteed by the Constitution.
There is a separation of powers. It's not just judicial, legislative, and executive branch. We also have a separation of powers between federal government and our local state government. You can see that in our Constitution, Article 1, I think it's Section 4, which specifically talks about time, place, and manner for elections are determined by the states.
Right now, there haven't been any moves to officially nationalize elections, but Chapman says she'd be concerned for the rights of Utah citizens if the idea were to move forward. Reagan Edelman, KSL News Radio.
Border Czar Tom Homan says the Department of Homeland Security will withdraw 700 federal agents from Minneapolis.
Now say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien.
He also says ICE agents in Minneapolis will now be required to wear body cameras. ABC's Matt Rivers has that part of the story.
Operations are still going on. Arrests are being made. As far as we know, there are still thousands of federal agents operating in the city here. And one big change that is coming for those agents would be the introduction of body-worn cameras. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, she posted on X basically saying that effective immediately, all federal officers here in Minneapolis will be using and instructed to use body-worn cameras.
The brothers of Renee Good, who was shot and killed by a federal immigration officer in January, were on Capitol Hill saying her death should lead to major changes in how immigration laws are enforced.
First look traffic in the 8 o'clock hour. Let's check in with Cormac Bone.
Northbound I-215's westbound seeing some heavy delays approaching the 201 freeway. And, of course, northbound I-15 seeing the normal workflow of traffic at the South Interchange. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We are waiting to get an update on a motorcyclist rushed to the hospital in critical condition after being involved in a crash at the intersection of 6400 South and Highland Drive. Police tell us the driver of the other vehicle is cooperating with the investigation, but so far police are not sure how last evening's crash happened or who's at fault. Police say there were no signs of impairment by either driver.
It's been more than 30 years since an updated master plan was considered for the northwest side of Salt Lake City. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi reports.
City planners have a draft plan that calls for more mixed-use areas for housing and commercial property. It also calls for cleaner air and better access to parks and trails. The Planning Commission writes that more businesses are crucial because the community should be able to participate in their local economy. This is for neighborhoods like Rose Park, Jordan Meadows, and Fair Park. One of the community groups, the Westside Coalition, welcomes the update and hopes it makes the area a place where people want to live, work, and play. They also see a need for housing that appeals to all levels of income instead of just studios and one-bedroom apartments.
The Planning Commission has tabled the plan for now to allow for more time for community input.
The Utah Jazz made a big move ahead of Thursday's NBA trade deadline, bringing in a 2-time All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. in exchange for players and first-round draft picks. Jackson should immediately have an impact on the defensive end of the court. We'll now watch and wait and see if the Jazz make any more moves before Thursday afternoon.
We have BYU men's basketball on our air tonight. The Cougars are on the road looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. They'll be facing Oklahoma State. Cougars and Cowboys tip it off at 7. Our pregame starts at 6.
The Utah Utes are home tonight, too, hosting the Arizona State Sun Devils. Utah State is on the road at New Mexico.
The Western Athletic Conference has filed a lawsuit against UVU over exit fees from the conference. The Wolverines are leaving the WAC to join the Big West this summer, and the WAC says the school owes them $1 million in fees. The WAC is also prohibiting UVU from playing in conference championship events and NCAA championship events because they say the school is not in good standing. This will likely have to be worked out in the courts.
Any problems in the commute, Andy?
Yeah, we've got slow spots, although no big crashes. The crash that we've seen have been on city streets mostly this morning. We'll update you on our slow freeway spots, though, coming up next.
Hi, this is Doug Wright, and when my wife Dee and I moved into our new home a few years back, would you care to guess what was one of the first purchases we made for the home?
It was a water softener, Doug.
That's right, but not just any water softener. The fact is, Dee and I, just won't settle for anything less than Kinetico. For one thing, Kinetico softeners are so well designed, they use 2/3 less salt than other softeners. And I tell you, my back really appreciates carrying in just one bag of salt compared to 3 that my neighbors are carrying in. For another, Kinetico's all-mechanical design never needs adjustment, even if the power goes out or some household water use changes. In fact, it's virtually maintenance-free, meaning there are no annoying knobs to fiddle with. You really should look into the water softener from Kinetico. To learn more, call Kinetico of Utah at 801-576-8600 or go to softwaterutah.com. That's softwaterutah.com.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
8:09 traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. Cormac?
A touch of northbound I-15 slowing in Linden. Otherwise, you're good through Utah County and around the point of the mountain, but you're going to get a little more brake lights as you go into Midville around 7200 South and at the South Interchange. And, of course, again, at the I-80-201 junction up to 13th South, seeing a little bit of slowdowns. Northbound Bangerter Highway and Mountain View Corridor, the normal slowdowns approaching 3500 South in West Valley. And eastbound Pioneer Crossing in Lehigh, you're going to see that normal delay due to construction starting at, 500 West and reaching to I-15. Andy.
Got some northbound 15 slowdowns right now going from Centerville up to Farmington. It's just after the West Davis split, but before you get to Highway 89 that's seeing that northbound slowdown. Southbounders are slow between 215 and Warm Springs Road. If you're coming off of Legacy, I-215 is going to bog down just a little bit before I-80. Foothill backups continue to be an issue from 21st South, actually starting before 21st South, all the way up to 1300 South. Actually, go to Sunnyside now, so all the way up to Sunnyside. Mortgage rates are lower. Call 801-809-SAVE. Loans by Rick at Vintage Lending, NMLS 241179, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Normal daytime high right around 41. We're going to go to 55 today, mostly sunny skies. Overnight, 33, mostly clear. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of haze. 56 for your Thursday. Friday, we're up to 57, partly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, it's 32 degrees downtown. Coming up in just a moment. Do you think teenagers ought to be able to get their learning permits and driver's licenses younger?
I don't know if there's a good case for that.
Yeah.
Isn't there already
There's
an
a
issue?
proposal for that on Utah's Capitol Hill. We're going to learn more about it. Holly Richardson joins us coming up on KSL.
That's streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Do you have a property you need to sell right now? Maybe you inherited it and you can't make the mortgage payments on it and there are issues and you need to sell this thing and get it done. If you are in that situation, can we refer you to the Stern team? They're going to help you.
Yeah, I have a relative who lives by herself, and if she passes, her brother, who lives out of state, would have to deal with that situation.
Yeah, happens all the time.
And so having somebody here in this market, the Stern team, is a great relationship to have because you never know when these kinds of things come up on you. Sure, you know sometimes when you want to move, but more often than you'd like, it becomes a situation that's unexpected.
And if you need to sell it fast, I'm telling you, I was just reading the other day about a guy that they got his house under contract in a week. We actually got we sold our house with the Stern team last year, and we got our first offer. I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, which shocked me. And I thought, oh my gosh, we've got to take this. And my real estate agent with the Stern team, Stephanie, she said, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's a lowball offer. Hang in there. You're going to get a better offer. Sure enough, we did. So this is the kind of expertise at the Stern team.
Yeah, you can get an instant cash offer. You can do buy before you sell. What your situation is, the Stern team has an option for you. So if you've got a situation right now where you have an interest rate that you love more than you love your house, that doesn't have to be the barrier for you getting to live where you want to be.
Contact our friends at the Stern team, powered by Omada Real Estate. You can just download the Omada Real Estate app or go online to sternteam.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Are you looking to upgrade your home this year? Advanced Window Products is your local window and door manufacturer that sells direct to the public.
That's right, celebrating 40 years serving Utah since 1986. And right now, it's the New Year, New Window Sale. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more.
Our windows are made right here in Salt Lake City. Sales and installation are all in-house, meaning no middleman markups. You get the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state.
We build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Every window comes with a lifetime warranty, labor, glass, and parts included, serviced by our local team, and the warranty is transferable to the next homeowner.
Financing is available too. Save now, pay later, with payments as low as $150 a month.
Buy local and support the local economy. Don't wait. Buy 10 windows or more and get $2,500 off. Beat the rush and call today.
Call us at 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First, Utah lawmakers have given the first thumbs up to a bill that would require signature gatherers to undergo government training beforehand. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Border Czar Tom Homan announced this morning the Department of Homeland Security is removing 700 federal officers from Minnesota.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Northbound I-15 delays seem to be easing a little bit, still slow as you pass the South Interchange in between 2100 South and 13th South. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Border-like spring-like conditions through the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, downtown, 30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. There are currently about 3,000 federal agents in Minneapolis, but Border Czar Tom Homan said minutes ago,
we'll draw down 700 people effective today.
Homan saying the move was made possible through agreements with state and local officials in Minnesota.
We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation.
The move coming after the ICE-involved fatal shootings of 2 people in Minneapolis, Alex Preddy and Renee Good. An hour from now, the man convicted of trying to shoot President Trump on his Florida golf course a year and a half ago will be sentenced.
Federal prosecutors say Ryan Ruth should be imprisoned for life, arguing he painstakingly plotted to kill then-candidate Trump in the weeks before the 2024 election and has since shown no remorse or regret. Ruth's court-appointed defense attorney is asking for a 27-year sentence, saying that now 60-year-old should not have to die in prison. Trump-appointed District Court Judge Eileen Cannon will decide.
ABC national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. The Washington Post is laying off a third of its staff, including eliminating its entire sports department. The change is announced in a Zoom staff meeting today, according to the AP. Staffers were told they would get emails with either one of 2 subject lines stating whether their jobs were safe or if they were being eliminated. That as private job creation slows to a crawl.
That's not to say that every industry is suffering. Healthcare, restaurants, and hospitality showed strong gains in hiring last month. But manufacturing, according to ADP, has lost jobs every month since March of 2024. For all of last year, private employers created 398,000 openings, down from 771,000 the year before.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Nuclear talks between Iran and the U.S. being held today in Oman. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, buckle up, parents. Boy, this is the truth. A new proposal would allow teens to get their driver's licenses and permits earlier.
Co-host of Inside Sources, Holly Richardson, joins us. We already got a text on this, Holly. It said having kids be able to get their driver's license even younger is ridiculous. Nowadays, it's hard to get kids to even get their license at 16, let alone younger.
Well, and that's interesting. That was my personal experience. I only had one child who, like, on the day she turned 16, got her license. Yeah. Everybody else was, like, later. Some of them weren't until they were, like, 19. Mm-hmm. But this bill that's being proposed, and it has just been released from drafting, so it's not scheduled. It's like late in the session already. It's bill number HB 464, I think. Mm-hmm. So we've got a ways to go. But what this bill would do is let kids get their learner permit as early as 14 years and 6 months old, and then get a full driver's license a year later at 15 years and 6 months old, right? But there's another component to the bill, and that would allow parents to be the people who are the driver's ed instructors, basically.
But I thought we already were. I know that was the frustrating thing for me.
We're the ride-alongs for sure.
Well, no, but the first time they operate a car is with the parents. It's not with the driver ed teacher.
But you learn a lot more in driver's ed than just operating.
It's
right, but there's a brake on the other side of the car. That was the part that freaked me out the first time I sat down.
As a parent, so I'll just tell you my personal experience. I tried it one time with my oldest, one trip, and I was like literally screaming in the car, "We're going to die!" And I'm like, I will never do that again. So,
what's the need? I mean, what is this? What is this answering this bill?
I can guess. Is this coming from rural lawmakers?
No, it's not a rural lawmaker. It's actually Representative Nicolene Peck.
We drove way younger.
Yeah,
not with licenses.
And my husband grew up. He at least graduated in rural Kansas, and he was driving at least at age 14.
If you live on a farm, you drive.
That is true. And I wonder more. We're trying to get the legislator on actually, but I wonder more if it has to do with parents tired of driving kids to school activities, pre and post school activities. I'm not sure. I hope we can get an answer from her. But it's interesting that there's the two-parter, right? That you can do the full instructor, you can do all of the classroom learning online with a parent, and then you can be in the car with the parent. But I'm with you, man, Andy. I want a break on the other side.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. All right, more coming up on Inside Sources. Thank you, Holly. Right now, let's get a look at traffic and weather. Brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Cormac.
A bit of new northbound I-15 slowing. This is as you come down the hill from the point of the mountain and past Bangerter Highway. Light in that area. And then it's clean and clear up into Midvale and at the South Interchange, where you're going to see a little bit of slowdown between 7200 South and 5300 South. And then again, of course, at the I-80-201 interchange, it's heavy and slow approaching 13th South. Otherwise, roadways starting to clear up even on the city streets. Northbound Bangerter Highways not seeing as much delay. It's construction still giving drivers grief in Lehigh. That's still heavy and slow from 500 west to I-15. Andy.
South 15 hasn't got any delays between Ogden and North Salt Lake. It's a little bit heavy, though, still over on Salt Lake City's west side on 215 going south near 700 North and then the turn to I-80. Foothill, though, that's still backed up as you go from the 21st South intersection all the way up to Sunnyside. Homeowners, Gillette Services is putting $1,000 in your pocket with a rebate on new installations, and you pay nothing until 2027. Call 385-GET-HEAT for your free estimate. Comfort now, pay later.
KSL 7-day forecast, quiet as ever to start. 55 today, mostly sunny skies, way above the normal tomorrow. 56, high pressure right over Utah, sunshine. Partly cloudy on Friday, 57. More mid-50s into Saturday and Sunday. Then clouds move in on Monday, 52, mostly cloudy, and a slight chance for a shower. Better chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday next week with highs in the 40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, it's 30 degrees downtown. We're going to get another look at money news just ahead on KSL News Radio.
January's over, but your goals don't have to be. If you missed your start date or your January weight loss plan already fell apart, this is your do-over. This is your resolution reset. Right now, Salt Lake City Fat Loss is offering $200 off to help you get back on track through the end of February, plus 1 free body contouring session where you can lose up to 2 inches per session. Our doctor-developed all-natural program helps you lose up to 1 pound of fat per day with no injections, no drugs, no workouts, and no prepackaged meals.
JJ here. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days thanks to this program. Alex here. I've dropped 65 pounds. SLCfatloss.com.
Stop restarting and start getting results. Take advantage of the resolution reset with $200 off ending February 28th, plus 1 free body contouring session where you can lose up to 2 inches per session. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 1 or 2 months. Call now and schedule your free consultation at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Join Mike Stevens of Capital Wealth Advisors for Retire Right Radio, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's Retire Right Radio with Mike Stevens, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Who is Farm Bureau Financial Services? At our core, we're relationship builders. We're home and auto bundlers, life insurers, farm and ranch protectors, and retirement planners. We're neighbors, community members, and friends. We're the people you can count on now and for years to come. Find a Farm Bureau agent at fbfs.com/protect. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Uber shares are falling, and it comes after the company reduced prices for rides. Now, it did boost the company's number of rides by 22%, but the number of cheap rides didn't make up for the loss in revenue.
Americans will start filling out their squares and taking bets on what team will win the Super Bowl. Not this American. I just think gambling ruins the fun. I don't know. I
have a friend who can't. We watched so much sports together as kids, and it ruined it for him.
Well, because if something bad could happen to you financially, how can that be fun? Anyway, I'll get off my horse. But CNBC reports AI will be a big tool in how people bet. It's also likely to boost the valuations of sports teams and media rights.
3 Utah magazines have been purchased by a national publishing company, Our Media. Salt Lake, Utah Bride and Groom, and Utah Style and Design are now owned by this Michigan-based company. The Salt Lake Tribune says the magazines combined reach more than 600,000 readers.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. And the Dow is off and running. It's up 0.7%. It's up 351 points. We're at 49,582. S&P's up a fraction, just 4. The NASDAQ is headed the other way. The NASDAQ is down 107 right now. That's 0.5%. Let me just check gold. Gold is up $78. It's back over $5,000 an ounce, $5,010 an ounce.
Quite a bit of slowing on I-15 coming into downtown Salt Lake right now from about 33rd South up to the 6th South exit. We'll get a check of traffic next.
Have your allergies been kicking up?
They have.
Early, and I know it's partly because of the warm temperatures, but mine have too. And it made me think maybe I should call Zero Res, because whenever my allergies get bad, I want to have the carpets cleaned again to make sure all the allergens and crap in the carpet gets out of there.
Well, up to 40 pounds of particles, which include allergens along with the typical dust, debris, and floaty skin cells, get into your carpet. So if we've got more pollen in the air now in the winter, carpet. It's going into your carpet.
Yeah, the biggest filter in your home. So Zero Res is the only place to call. I've been using them for, I think it's like 25 years now, but they've done a great job for me. And I notice a real difference in the quality of my air, not only after having the carpets cleaned, but after getting the air ducts cleaned. cleaned.
Yeah, the air ducts are a big thing, too, when it
Huge.
comes to pot. We haven't had our air ducts cleaned in
You gotta
a
do it.
lot of years.
Oh, you're
so
gonna
this
notice
sounds like
such a
something I'm
difference.
going to need Zero Res to help me out with. Well, right now we've got a great deal, $43 per room on the carpets during this month of February that you'll want to take advantage of because that's a great price on a room clean.
Oh, yeah. So get your living room done, your dining room, maybe a kid's room, especially if you have any child with allergies, or your bedroom done. You're going to breathe easier.
We have a pet stain right out our bedroom door right now.
No.
That's one of the things I'm
Sick
going to
them
count
on
on
that.
Zero Res to help us with. So you can give them a call at Zero Res or go online to their 866 Zero Res for the phone number, or go online to zerores.com to schedule that appointment anytime.
The murder of two men forces their families to wrestle with impossible questions. Who is forgiveness for? Does everyone deserve a second chance? Follow Season 2 of The Letter, Ripple Effect, at theletterpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join KSL in the movie show this Friday from 10 to 1 at the Salt Lake NPS store, 1600 Empire Road in Salt Lake City. NPSstore.com.
829, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back over to you, Cormac.
It's once again a problem-free drive on I-15 all through Utah County. The only thing you're going to see delay-wise in Utah County is Pioneer Crossing, that construction delay that you always get, and also on 2100 North, both trying to get to I-15 eastbound. And in Salt Lake County, northbound I-15, you're going to see delays. This is normal around Bangerter Highway as you come down from the point of the mountain. And then once again, from the south interchange up into Salt Lake, especially slow at the I-80-201 interchange and 13th South. Andy.
Traffic on Foothill right now pretty backed up from 21st South all the way up now to Sunnyside. We've got slowdowns on southbound 15, but only minor slowdowns right now near the West Davis Corridor merge. Looks pretty good other than that up towards Ogden on the freeway. Highway 89 beginning to get backed up on both sides of I-84, and then delays both directions of Highway 89 approaching Harrison Boulevard. Building or upgrading? Camson Electric delivers clean, professional electrical work for homes and businesses. From custom projects to upgrades, they do it right the first time. Visit CamsonElectric.com.
Today, we'll get up to 55 degrees, just a little bit warmer than yesterday. Partly cloudy skies. Sunny and 56 tomorrow, 57 Friday, and we'll stay right there around 57 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It cools down a little on Monday ahead of this cooler front. I wouldn't say cold front. It's cooler.
Cooler front.
It's cooler. We'll take that. And we'll get some rain, hopefully, in the valley, and the highs will be in the mid-40s on Tuesday. Right now, though, let's see. It's 30 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News
with Andy Farnsworth and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time, 8:30. KSL's top story this hour.
A new poll shows the vast majority of Utahns are worried about the economy, especially how expensive things are getting with inflation.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our team coverage.
The Deseret News and Hinckley Institute of Politics asked hundreds of Utahns how concerned, if at all, they were with the economy. 85% said they were either somewhat or very concerned. And when they were asked what specifically about the economy they were worried about, 3 out of 4 either said inflation or the cost of housing. Though interestingly enough, housing was not the number one thing people were most concerned about in terms of what prices are being inflated. It was number 2 behind the cost of groceries and other household goods. The cost of healthcare came in number 3. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Studies show military families are also worried about the economy and the cost of living. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla continues our team coverage.
The partial government shutdown and threat of a full shutdown had upwards of 70% of military families anxious and planning how they would survive it. But this is a struggle all year, and not just when it's time for lawmakers to pass a bill. Nonprofit organization Blue Star Family says food is a constant worry for 28% of military families. And those who struggle to afford food are often dealing with unemployment. 23% of military spouses struggle to find work. The struggle for work is only intensified by the cost of childcare, making things more difficult and more complicated. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
A longtime Utah music store says it's closing one of its locations because of the unpredictable added costs from tariffs. Riverton music owner Kevin Rindlisbacher says they were forced to close their West Jordan location.
I'm just waiting for some common sense to enter into the picture and settle things down. And we're hoping that that will happen sooner rather than later.
He says they've seen costs soar from shipping to manufacturing, and prices can fluctuate day to day. He says they hope to keep their other 2 locations open.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Detectives in Arizona are now trying to determine if alleged ransom notes for missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie are real. ABC's Lina Moise has the latest on Guthrie, who is the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie.
Nancy Guthrie's home has security cameras, but officials say they haven't been able to access the footage, and the camera attached to the front of the home is missing.
Mom, love you. We love you.
Nancy often appeared with her daughter on the Today Show, and the two have been open about their close bond. Nancy raising Savannah and her two siblings as a single mom after her husband died while Savannah was in high school.
Nancy also takes life-saving medication and is thought to have been without it since she disappeared Sunday morning.
Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is speaking out after her ex-husband Bill Gates' name appeared in the newly released Epstein files. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
For me, it's personally hard.
The couple divorced back in 2021. Now Gates addressing the Epstein scandal with NPR's Rachel Martin.
Whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
While Bill Gates has previously said his meetings with Epstein were a, quote, huge mistake, his mention in the newly released documents are fueling fresh scrutiny over the nature of their association.
Bill Gates insists he never went to Epstein's private island and only met Epstein for dinners.
The International Olympic Committee has plenty of praise for the Utah 2034 organizers, but cautioned against planning too early.
During a committee meeting last night, IOC Executive Director Christoph Dubie says he's impressed by how supportive Utah is of the Games coming back and praised Utah's upkeeping and even improving of the 2002 facilities. However, he said now is not the time to make plans.
The only thing we have to do is focus on the elevation. And this means focusing on the experience, what truly matters. It is not what is behind the curtain.
He encouraged organizers to focus on the legacy of the Games, starting with athletes. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
The opening ceremony for the Milan Cortina Winter Games takes place on Friday, but some of the competitions are already underway, including ice hockey matches, snowboarding competitions, and figure skating. But the first medals won't be handed out until February 7th.
And the opening ceremonies are Friday. We'll be watching for sure. First look traffic now, and here's Cormac Bone.
Northbound I-15 delays starting to ease. It's no longer slow around the south interchange, but it is still slow from 3300 south up into 13th south. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
The Utah program, a new Utah program, is helping people on the autism spectrum communicate with officers more comfortably during traffic stops. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez reports.
The Big Blue Envelope program is a partnership between police departments and the Utah Autism Council. The program offers envelopes to drivers with autism that they can then hand to officers at a traffic stop. It explains why or how the driver may act when pulled over, including if the driver goes nonverbal or is overwhelmed by sounds or lights. It also tells drivers what to do when interacting with an officer, such as staying calm and keeping their hands on the wheel. Lieutenant Will Barnes with Centerville Police says they hope to improve communication between officer and driver.
The blue envelopes are available for pickup at all police agencies in Davis County and also at the Autism Council of Utah.
BYU has opted to end its SOAR program because of new federal policies. The program was designed 25 years ago to help prospective multicultural students get support while applying to the school. That decision has prompted a student-led petition calling on the school to bring the program back. BYU has responded to that petition, saying they're committed to supporting students, and university leadership is exploring ways to strengthen student success and college preparedness.
The Utah Board of Education has chosen a company to provide new safety technology mandated by the state legislature. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott reports.
Raptor Technologies was chosen as part of the sweeping House Bill 84 that saw massive strides in the safety of Utah's public schools. Raptor will be providing tech to all of Utah's public schools with software that will help plan drills, screen visitors, and perform safety checks on students and faculty. They'll also be providing wearable badges that will communicate directly with local dispatchers to provide support and location awareness through emergencies.
A company spokesperson told KSL the tech will allow Utah's schools to stay safe as well as adhere to the new legal safety standards.
Where are the problems in the morning commute, Andy?
Well, they've been on I-15 coming into downtown. Northbound's been slower than usual right in the downtown area itself, but you're still seeing some brake lights coming over Point of the Mountain. We'll get an update on your commute next.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
8:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. Cormac?
A touch of southbound I-15 slowing just after Pleasant Grove in Linden, but otherwise I-15 looking really good all throughout Utah County. Some eastbound delays, of course, in that construction zone on Pioneer Crossing as you try to get on I-15. And northbound I-15, as you come around the point of the mountain, you're going to see some delays as you approach Bangerter Highway, but otherwise it's good right up until... This is all the way up till 3300 South now, and then slow until 13th South on northbound I-15 in Salt Lake. Eastbound on the 201 freeway is cleared up, and even Bangerter Highway northbound looking pretty good. Andy?
Southbound 15 does still have a little bit of slowing at Warm Springs Road, which is that little stretch right after 215 in North Salt Lake coming into downtown. But the gates to Hill Air Force Base have all stayed pretty quiet this morning. We do have a big backup right now, though, coming down the hill on SR 193 from Highway 89 and then down the hill heading towards Fairfield Road, towards Church Street. I don't know. It's probably due to a crash. There usually is the reason for a delay there. And then there's still a little bit of slowing on Harrison Boulevard at Highway 89 in South Weber, South Ogden. Soar away to Neverland as Ballet West presents Peter Pan. This classic family fairy tale comes to life, complete with enchanting mermaids, playful pirates, and dancers taking flight. Tickets and details at balletwest.org.
I've got you down for another mild one today. Temperatures top around 55, mostly sunny skies. Overnight, 33. We bounce back to 56 tomorrow. Sunshine. High pressure allows for a couple of clouds on Friday. Partly cloudy, 57. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees downtown. Coming up, we'll get the latest on the search for Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother in Arizona. Lionel Moise has the latest for us next.
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. Drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Jeff Kaplan.
When I was a kid, my parents got me a subscription to Newsweek magazine. I would devour every page into the night. And to this day, I sit on my iPad looking for stories for my Minute of News, flesh out our coverage, and I get to share the news with you.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
I have some good news for you today. Pay attention, pull over, whatever. American Home Loans has lowered their mortgage rates to only 5.5% on 30-year loans and 4 3/4 for 15 years. Yes, 5.5% fixed. But wait,
What if rates go down again? No problem. Once you're a customer with American Home Loans, you don't have to worry about paying closing costs every time you refinance. That's right. Every time rates drop by 0.25% or more, they'll refinance you at no cost to you. Zero, zilch, nada. For details, call 801-262-2221. 262-2221. So now you can purchase a home or refinance at only 5.5% on 30 years and 4 3/4 on 15 years. And then if rates drop later, you can refinance at no cost to you. Call American Home Loans at 801-262-2221. 262-2221 or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. AmericanHomeLoans.com. NMLS 245422, APR 5.8 30-year and 5% 15-year. Terms and conditions apply.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
KSL News Time, 8:43. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
a new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy and inflation, with the biggest concerns being the cost of groceries and housing. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the opening ceremonies for the Milan Cortina Winter Games take place on Friday, but some of the competitions are already underway.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Northbound I-15 delays as you come down the point of the mountain and approach Bangerter Highway, and of course again a little heavier now as you approach 13th South. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Very mild and quiet conditions with temperatures running 10 to 15 above the normal. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 34 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. White House border czar Tom Homan says a number of immigration enforcement officials in Minnesota will be reduced. Beginning today, 700 officers will be withdrawn from the operation because Homan says state and local law enforcement are working with them.
More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien.
About half an hour from now, the man convicted of trying to assassinate President Trump on his golf course in Florida in 2024 will be sentenced. A U.S. district judge is today considering moving President Trump's criminal conviction for falsifying business records to federal court, where he could then try to overturn it. Still no sign of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, believed abducted from her home over the weekend in Tucson. This is ABC News.
Time to go in depth. The search for Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, is intensifying in Arizona.
And now there is talk about possible ransom notes. ABC's Lina Moise.
This morning, authorities are reviewing possible ransom notes as part of the investigation into 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. The sheriff saying he believes Guthrie was abducted from her bed. Our affiliate in Tucson reports it received one of the ransom notes and sent it to law enforcement. Officials are now investigating if the notes are legitimate.
Is there any indication so far as to whether this was a random abduction or targeted?
We're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that.
And we're now hearing police dispatch audio.
Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5C medium build, Pineapple Blue.
With authorities concerned at that moment about Nancy Guthrie's health.
Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
Guthrie relies on medication left behind at the house. The sheriff saying 24 hours without it could be fatal. DNA samples collected at the house were confirmed to belong to Guthrie, but officials have not confirmed if they were blood. The FBI assisting in the search, conducting interviews and analyzing electronics.
If there's any indication that she had communications with somebody prior, maybe somebody texted her, maybe she was going back and forth and they knew that she was home home by herself at that time. I understand she also has a pacemaker that does connect with Wi-Fi and possibly the internet. So is there some way that they can use that to help identify when she left, where she went?
Neighbors shaken by the news.
This probably is not it's going to be a good outcome.
Many trying to help search, even stopping other neighbors to ask them to check their security cameras.
We sent out an alert to all the neighbors.
Nancy Guthrie's home has security cameras, but officials say they haven't been able to access the footage, and the camera attached to the front of the home is missing.
Mom, love you. We love you.
Nancy often appeared with her daughter on the Today Show, and the two have been open about their close bond. Nancy raising Savannah and her two siblings as a single mom after her husband died while Savannah was in high school. It was people in Nancy's church who alerted the family when she didn't show up to service Sunday morning, and there are no streetlights in her neighborhood, which could make analyzing security camera footage extra challenging.
We spoke to a reporter at KTAR, which is a sister station of KSL's in Arizona, this morning, and she told us that they're planning a candlelight vigil tonight.
Yes.
Savannah Guthrie is expected to be there, along with her other family members, as they continue to hope for leads.
Well, this is that dual-edged sword of the privacy that you seek in a community where you have the bigger lots and things. Is you like that privacy, but then obviously nobody plans on something like this to happen. But then when it does, there's less immediate information. Like if you drive down a street where everybody's house is right next to each other, there's 10 potential doorbell cams that could capture footage.
I don't know doorbell cam technology enough to know if they ripped it off the door, so the doorbell camera is missing. Mm-hmm. Does that mean it's not backed up somewhere at the corporation itself? The corporation that makes the camera?
Typically it would be on the server.
Oh, Randall's telling us it depends on whether it's cloud-based or SD card-based. That's interesting.
I would guess that Savannah Guthrie would probably, and I was actually more surprised that there's only one security cam. But then again, it was her 84-year-old mother's house in Tucson.
You're not going to worry about
and just how it would. This is when I feel for somebody like Savannah Guthrie, there's positives to living your life in the public eye and the benefits that come from being on the Today Show. But then something like this happens and this
But we
is the
don't
flip
know
side
if
of
this
that.
is at all connected.
Well, right, but just
that.
having to live out her worries with everybody
in person.
watching her.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the In-Depth at 15:45.
8:49, traffic and weather brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. Cormac?
We've got some southbound I-15 delays. This is in Midvale, just after the south interchange. I'm seeing a couple lanes come to a stop. I couldn't find anything in the cameras, but you are going to run into some brake lights as you go into Midvale on I-15. Northbound and southbound I-15 through Utah County, not seeing any delays. You got some, of course, normal delays eastbound on 2100 north from Redwood Road over to I-15. But northbound I-15 also still slow from 3300 south up into 13th south. It's especially slow as you pass I-80 201 junction. Andy?
Well, we don't have any crazy delays coming out of Davis County, just some minor slowdowns if you're heading south on 215 off of Legacy or coming off I-15 and heading over towards the airport. There's a little bit of delay right before the traffic shift into the roadwork zone on 215's west side. We've still got that delay coming down the hill on SR 193 from Highway 89. That looked like it was due to maybe some road work, but it's only the westbound direction. People going from Hill Air Force Base towards Highway 89 shouldn't have any trouble getting up the hill. Thirsty for better water? Culligan has you covered. From softeners and filtration to bottle-free coolers and bottled water delivery, trusted local experts make water taste amazing. Visit CulliganSLC.com.
KSL 7-day forecast has a string of mid and upper 50s all the way through the weekend. 55 today, mostly sunny. Tomorrow, 56, sunshine. Partly cloudy, 57 on Friday. Saturday, 56, mostly sunny. We are at 57 degrees on Super Bowl Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. Changes start moving in on Monday, mostly cloudy, 30% chance for showers, 52 the high. We're down to 46 with more rain chances as we head into Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 34 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
If you're like me, maybe you'd heard of and collar shirts, but never actually worn one.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, you gotta